Chapter 2444. Zhou Ping and the other two exchanged a few words. Xiao Guan walked to the front and quickly formed a handprint. Xiao Guan waved his arm and unleashed a palm seal, blasting it into a blood-colored boulder. Then, the blood-red boulder emitted a dazzling light. First one, Zhang Qingbi. After activating the blood testing stone, Xiao Guan raised his hand and took out the name list of those who advanced to the second round. He said, "Walk to the blood testing stone and drip a drop of blood on it. It will test your bloodline grade." Hearing Xiao Guan's name, Zhang Qingbi immediately walked out of the crowd and walked toward the blood testing stone. He was the first one to pass the bone age test and successfully passed the test. Now that he was the first in the second round, he quickly attracted everyone's attention. Under everyone's gaze, Zhang Qingbi walked to the blood testing stone and dripped a drop of blood on it. As the blood dripped onto the blood testing stone emitted a dazzling light and a shocking bloodline power. Then, the color of the red blood testing stone started to change rapidly. Red, orange, yellow, the color kept changing. Looking at the color change of the blood test stone, everyone's expression became tense. Their eyes were fixed on the blood test stone. After a while, under everyone's nervous gaze, the color of the blood testing stone stopped changing. It was between green and green. Although it did not reach green, it showed that Zhang Qingbi passed the test again. I passed. Seeing that her bloodline had reached the green level, Zhang Qingbi was pleasantly surprised. The number of Saint Power Star clusters that he had condensed had reached 2,400. He knew this very well. In this way, he had passed all the outer disciple tests of the Sky Bull Mountain sect. After Zhang Qingbi's test, Xiao Guan began to call the names of the others. Next, Wu Xiong failed the test. Next, Shuang failed the test. A few people had failed in a row, making the atmosphere a little tense. It seemed that it was still very difficult to pass the bloodline test. Next, Di Qiu. After some time, it was Di Qiu's turn to take the test. Seeing that his name was called, Di Qiu arrogantly raised his head and walked toward the blood testing stone. Di Qiu came to the blood testing stone. He forced out a drop of blood and dripped it on the blood testing stone. As Di Qiu's blood dripped down, the blood testing stone shone brightly, making it impossible for people to look straight at it. Seeing this scene, the complacent expression on Di Qiu's face became even more intense. He knew very well that the stronger the light from the blood testing stone, the higher the grade of his bloodline. After a short while, the light from the blood testing stone faded, and the blood testing stone turned light blue. Seeing the grade of his bloodline, the pride on Di Qiu's face became even stronger. Then, he turned to look at Mo Qingyun with a provocative look in his eyes. Mo Qingyun ignored Di Qiu's provocative gaze as he silently thought to himself. From the aura of Di Qiu's bloodline, the power of the Mountain Shifter Tribe's bloodline is only slightly stronger than the absolute beginning creation bloodline. If such a bloodline can reach the blue level, then my absolute beginning creation dark bloodline must be at the purple level. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun had a clear understanding of his bloodline grade. After testing his bloodline grade, Di Qiu arrogantly raised his chin and slowly walked back to his seat. As expected of a member of the Mountain Shifter Tribe, the grade of his bloodline is indeed powerful. Among the people present, only Fong Han's bloodline can be compared to Di Qiu's. The Moon Fairy Tribe is ranked higher than the Mountain Shifter Tribe, and Fong Han's bloodline is extremely dense. He might even reach the purple level. This kind of innate talent is really enviable. Seeing Di Qiu's test results, some people whispered among themselves, their words filled with envy. While everyone was envious, Di Qiu's passing of the test also gave them some confidence. Next, Luo Hu qualified. Next, Chen Fan qualified. Next, Zhou Ran failed. Next, the tests were carried out one by one. Some passed, while others failed. After a few hours, the second round of the outer disciple test was over. After the outer disciple test was over, Xiao Guan said to everyone. His gaze fell on Fong Han, and he said, "Next, it's the inner disciple test. First, Fong Han. It's finally Fong Han's turn. I wonder what his bloodline grade is. It should be the purple level. No matter what, he will definitely pass. Seeing Fong Han walk to the blood testing stone, everyone whispered among themselves, their expressions becoming extremely excited. Under everyone's gaze, Fong Han forced out a drop of blood and dripped it on the blood testing stone. Then, the blood testing stone shone brighter than the light that Dichio had caused. It could be seen that his bloodline grade was higher than Dichio's. After a while, the light slowly faded, revealing the color of the blood testing stone. Just as everyone had guessed, Fong Han's bloodline grade had reached the purple level. Fong Han was not surprised by his bloodline grade. He calmly returned to his seat. Time passed bit by bit as the others continued to take their tests. Next, Mo Qingyun. After some time, it was finally Mo Qingyun's turn to take the test. Seeing Mo Qingyun walk out of the crowd, the surrounding people's expressions immediately became tense. It's his turn to take the test. I wonder what his result will be. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it will be too bad. It will at least be blue level. After all, his cultivation speed is there. That's not necessarily true. He doesn't even have a star seal. This means that his plane is low, and his bloodline shouldn't be too strong. Watching Mo Qingyun walk towards the blood testing stone, the crowd whispered to each other, forming two different opinions. While everyone was whispering, Dichio's face was as black as ink. He said coldly, "Humph, even if your cultivation talent is fast, it doesn't mean that your bloodline grade is high. If your bloodline grade is not up to standard, you won't be able to enter the Skybowl Mountain sect." Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun walked to the blood testing stone and dripped a drop of blood on it. Then, the blood testing stone shone brightly and shook violently. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. They could not believe what they were seeing. The blood testing stone's reaction was too intense. What chaotic aura! Sensing the blood testing stone's aura, Mo Qingyun frowned and quickly retreated. As Mo Qingyun was retreating, a loud sound came from the front. The blood testing stone had exploded. Seeing this sudden change, he couldn't help but be stunned on the spot. What was going on? Chapter 2445. The blood testing stone exploded? Like Mo Qingyun, the others were shocked when they saw the blood testing stone explode. As far as he could remember, he had never heard of such a situation before. How dare you destroy the blood testing stone? You'll be punished. Seeing that the blood testing stone had exploded, Dichio immediately revealed a complacent expression, taking pleasure in other people's misfortune. In his opinion, Wu Feng and the others would not tolerate Mo Qingyun's actions. Unlike Dichio, Fong Han couldn't help but frown when he saw this scene. The aura of his bloodline just now made me feel that his bloodline is not flowing smoothly. Could it be that the explosion of the blood testing stone was because his bloodline is too strong? Fong Han's expression changed when he thought of this. He looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. If that was the case, it was a little scary. "Gentlemen, the blood testing stone is broken. Why don't we test it again?" Seeing the blood testing stone explode, Zhou Ping had a bitter smile on his face as he suggested to Wu Feng. He was the one who had recommended Mo Qingyun. Now that such a situation had occurred, he was also helpless. Hearing Zhou Ping's suggestion, Wu Feng and Zhou Ping exchanged a look and nodded in agreement. It was their first time encountering such a situation. They were caught off guard. Wu Feng was stunned for a moment. He walked to the front and said, "Due to the problem with the blood testing stone, I'll get a new one. Please wait for a moment." As soon as Wu Feng finished speaking, he gave Xiaoguan a look and went to get a new blood testing stone. After receiving Wu Feng's signal, Xiaoguan didn't hesitate and immediately went to retrieve the blood test stone. After a short while, Xiaoguan, who had gone to retrieve the blood test stone, placed the new blood test stone in the square. Mo Qingyun tested again. Seeing that the new blood test stone had been brought over, Wu Feng had a solemn expression on his face as he instructed Mo Qingyun. Hearing Wu Feng's words, Mo Qingyun didn't think too much about it and dripped another drop of blood onto the blood testing stone. Dong, dong, dong. As the blood dripped onto the blood testing stone, the blood testing stone shook violently. The situation was exactly the same as before. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun didn't dare hesitate in the slightest. He immediately retreated. Bang! When Mo Qingyun retreated 1,000 meters, the blood-testing stone exploded again and turned into pieces of gravel. Seeing this scene, the surroundings instantly quieted down. Everyone looked at each other. They did not know whether to laugh or cry. The blood-testing stone exploded again. It exploded again. This kid did it on purpose. This is interesting. He exploded 2 blood-testing stones in a row. I'm afraid he won't be able to explain himself. Blood-testing stones are very rare. This kid will lose his family fortune. After a brief moment of shock, everyone began to whisper to each other, feeling some sympathy for Mo Qingyun. Of course, they had such thoughts because they did not detect the grade of Mo Qingyun's bloodline. Otherwise, they would not think this way. This kid is finished. He destroyed 2 blood-testing stones in a row. The elder will not let him go. Seeing another blood-testing stone being destroyed, Dichio's complacent expression became even more intense. While Dichio was feeling complacent, Fang Han stood up and said with a shocked expression, "It seems that my guess was right. The blood-testing stone exploded because his bloodline is too powerful." What kind of bloodline is it? At this moment, Fang Han's interest in Mo Qingyun rose to the peak. It seems that there is no need to test anymore. His bloodline is too powerful. The low-grade blood-testing stone can't detect it. After 2 blood-testing stones exploded in a row, Wu Feng finally understood the reason for the explosions. When Wu Feng said this, his face was full of smiles. He did not feel the pain of wasting 2 blood-testing stones. That's right. If you want to test his bloodline, you have to use the Divine Longhorn Sect's mid-grade blood-testing stone. Hearing Wu Feng's words, Xiaoguan immediately nodded and smiled faintly. Elder Zhou Ping, you really have a discerning eye. You have actually discovered this genius. This is a great contribution to the sect. Haha, I'm also very surprised. I did not expect this kid to be so monstrous. Hearing Wu Feng and Xiaoguan's words, Zhou Ping immediately laughed proudly. His heart was filled with joy. If he had not made Mo Qingyun stay and caused Mo Qingyun to leave in anger, the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect would have been in trouble. With Mo Qingyun's terrifying talent, he would become a terrifying existence in thousands of years. When that time came, even the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect would not be able to take revenge on him. After all, the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect still had many enemies on the Divine Wood continent. They were happy to see such a situation. Seeing that Mo Qingyun's bloodline grade could not be tested by the low-grade blood-testing stone, Wu Feng was not willing to persist. He smiled faintly and said, "After seeing Mo Qingyun's performance in the first 2 rounds, I am looking forward to the number of Saint 4-star clusters that he has." Hearing Wu Feng's words, Zhou Ping and Xiaoguan nodded. Their eyes were also filled with anticipation. We already know the reason for the blood-testing stone's explosion. Wu Feng and the other 2 conversed for a while. Wu Feng said to everyone, "The reason for the blood-testing stone's explosion is that Mo Qingyun's bloodline is too powerful. It has exceeded the blood-testing stone's tolerance. Therefore, Mo Qingyun's bloodline grade should be beyond purple." It was a grade beyond purple. Hearing Wu Feng's words, some people who did not know the situation were all stunned. This can't be true, right? Isn't purple the best? I did not expect his bloodline power to be stronger than Fang Han's. This is unbelievable. From the looks of it, not only will he not be punished, but he will also be nurtured by the sect. This is the benefit of having powerful talent. He will always receive special treatment. Everyone looked at Mo Qingyun with eyes full of awe and envy. Hearing the words of the people around him, Dichio's face darkened. He gritted his teeth and said, "How could this be? This brat destroyed 2 blood-testing stones in a row and is actually fine." Instead, he even received the approval of the elders. Dichio couldn't accept this result. Sure enough, seeing Wu Feng's attitude, Fang Han nodded. He wasn't surprised at all as he said, his appearance might cause an earth-shaking change in the Heavenly Bull sect and the Heavenly Bull continent. Fang Han muttered to himself and closed his eyes. No one knew what he was thinking. Dao friend Mo's talent has reached such a terrifying level. This is unbelievable. After learning about Mo Qingyun's bloodline grade, Shihong's face was filled with shock. He was unable to comprehend it for a long time. After calming down, a smile appeared on Shihong's face. He said, "This is also good. The higher Dao friend Mo's talent is, the more respected his position in the sect will be. He will also be able to take care of Shi Wei and the others so that they won't be bullied by Di Qiu." Chapter 2446. Everyone, please be quiet. The third round of assessment will begin now. After announcing Mo Qingyun's assessment results, Wu Feng did not want to waste any more time and immediately began the third round of assessment. Hearing Wu Feng's words, everyone tensed up and waited for Wu Feng to call them out. Upon closer inspection, one could see that there was an obvious difference in the expressions of these people. Some people's faces were filled with confidence, while others' faces were filled with nervousness. It was obvious that they had guessed their own results. Even so, those who did not have enough Saint Power Star clusters did not choose to give up and leave immediately. They wanted to take a gamble and see if they could be specially recruited. This was because such cases had happened before. Some people had been specially recruited before. For example, the number of Saint Power Star clusters had a lot to do with the cultivation level of a saint. Therefore, the final result could only be determined after a comprehensive evaluation. First, Zhang Qingbi. After announcing the start of the third round of assessment, Wu Feng took out the name list of those who had advanced and announced a name. As Zhang Qingbi was the first to take the assessment in the first 2 rounds, she was still the first in the third round. Yes. Hearing Wu Feng's name, Zhang Qingbi walked to the center of the square and released her Saint Power Star cluster. Then, a shocking aura erupted from Zhang Qingbi's body. At the same time, Saint Power Star clusters appeared around Zhang Qingbi. A total of 1,746. You passed the third round of assessment. Seeing the number of Saint Power Star clusters that Zhang Qingbi had, Wu Feng nodded in agreement and announced her assessment results. Hearing Wu Feng's words, Zhang Qingbi smiled brightly and walked to the side slowly. Next, Xiaohui. 1,953, pass. Next, Chen Sun. 1,856, qualified. Next, Wu Ruan. 920, failed. Following behind Zhang Qingbi, one by one, they released their Saint Power Star clusters. During this period, some passed and some failed. After an unknown period of time, a mid-Saint realm cultivator released his Saint Power Star cluster. Due to her low cultivation level, she only had 786 Saint Power Star clusters. Guiying, with your cultivation level in the intermediate Saint state and this number of Saint Power Star clusters, you passed the assessment. Considering Guiying's situation, Wu Feng pondered for a moment before announcing Guiying's assessment results. Hearing the results announced by Wu Feng, Guiying was immediately overjoyed. His expression became excited. Even though he had heard of exceptional admissions before, he was still pleasantly surprised to encounter one himself. Guiying's success in passing the test filled many people in the same situation with anticipation. Following that, a few more people passed the test like Guiying. Unknowingly, an hour had passed, and all the Sage Realm cultivators had finished their assessment. Next, it's the inner disciple assessment. Wu Feng looked at Mo Qingyun and the others and said, "First, Feng Han." Yes. Hearing Wu Feng's name, Feng Han slowly walked out of the crowd and walked to the center of the square. Then, a cold aura was released from Feng Han's body. When this aura appeared, Saint Power Star clusters that looked like ice balls appeared beside Feng Han. 5,329. There are actually more than 5,000 of them. This is too terrifying. More than 3,000, and he can be called a genius. Feng Han is indeed one of the top 3 prodigies of the Heavenly Bull continent. With more than 5,000 Saint Power Star clusters, he can be called a genius in the 2-star plane. Seeing the number of Saint Power Star clusters that Feng Han had, everyone was in awe. They admired Feng Han even more. While everyone was in shock, Wu Feng showed a bright smile and nodded in appreciation. He smiled and said, "Feng Han, Saint Power Star cluster, 5,329. You passed the assessment. Hearing Wu Feng's announcement, Feng Han stood up and returned to his seat. Next, the others followed behind Feng Han and took the assessment one after another. Next, it was Mo Qingyun. After some time, it was finally Mo Qingyun's turn. Hearing Wu Feng calling his name, Mo Qingyun walked to the center of the square and released his Saint Power Star Cluster. As Mo Qingyun released his Saint Power Star Cluster, a terrifying flame energy erupted from his body. Under the influence of Mo Qingyun's flame energy, some of the saints around were immediately pushed back. What a terrifying flame energy. Under this flame energy, I feel like I can't breathe. This flame energy is even stronger than Feng Han's. Could it be that he has more Saint Power Star Clusters? You guessed it right. He does have more Saint Power Star Clusters than Feng Han. 7,000. He has 7,000 Saint Power Star Clusters. Seeing the number of Saint Power Star Clusters that Mo Qingyun had, the surrounding people were shocked. Those who had 3,000 Saint Power Star Clusters could be called a genius. One could imagine how terrifying 7,000 Saint Power Star Clusters were. They didn't know that this was because Mo Qingyun was holding back. Mo Qingyun really had 20,000 Saint Power Star Clusters. If Mo Qingyun released all of his Saint Power Star Clusters, they would be scared silly. 7,000. This can't be true. Seeing the number of Saint Power Star Clusters that Mo Qingyun had, Di Qiu was immediately stunned. His face was filled with bitterness as he said, "My elder brother only has 5,600 Saint Power Star Clusters. He has more than 1,000 more than my elder brother." The current situation was a huge blow to Di Qiu. Originally, he wanted to use Di Nai's name to suppress Mo Qingyun. Now, it seemed like his plan was going to fail. More than 7,000. Looking at the Saint Power Star Clusters outside Mo Qingyun's body, Feng Han was shocked. He smiled bitterly and said, "Compared to him, my title as a genius seems like a joke. Was it a mistake for me to come to the Skybull Mountains sect this time?" At this moment, Feng Han couldn't help but doubt himself. Originally, he thought that he could be in the limelight in the Skybull Mountain sect's disciple assessment this time. He didn't expect to meet Mo Qingyun and be suppressed everywhere. The difference in mentality was too uncomfortable. 7,000. This kid is really a monster. I've struck it rich this time. Seeing the number of Saint Power Star Clusters that Mo Qingyun had, Zhou Ping immediately stood up in shock. His face was filled with shock. Previously, he had guessed that Mo Qingyun was very talented. However, he didn't expect it to be so terrifying. While Zhou Ping was pleasantly surprised, the fear in his heart grew stronger. With Mo Qingyun's talent, if he ran to an enemy sect, it would absolutely be a very frightening thing. Chapter 2447. Congratulations, Elder Zhou Ping. You have recruited Mo Qingyun this time. The sect will definitely reward you handsomely. Wu Feng and Xiao Guan were envious as they looked at Mo Qingyun in the middle of the square. They quickly congratulated Zhou Ping. They knew very well that the Heavenly Bull Divine sect would take Mo Qingyun's talent seriously if they reported it. After all, with Mo Qingyun's talent, he was a demon-like existence even in the Heavenly Bull Divine sect. I didn't expect his talent to be so demon-like. Hearing Wu Feng and Xiao Guan's envious words, Zhou Ping laughed heartily to express the joy in his heart. Mo Qingyun's talent had indeed exceeded his expectations. After exchanging a few words with Zhou Ping, Wu Feng looked at Mo Qingyun with admiration. He smiled faintly and said, "Nephew Mo Qingyun has 7,000 Saint Energy Star Clusters. Your talent is outstanding. You have passed the assessment." Hearing Wu Feng's address, some of the more attentive people immediately realized that something was wrong. From this, it could be seen that Wu Feng's attitude towards Mo Qingyun had undergone a drastic change. Wu Feng's current action was clearly showing goodwill towards Mo Qingyun. "Elder, you flatter me." Mo Qingyun nodded humbly in response to Wu Feng's words. He didn't reveal any changes in his emotions. He thought to himself that if he released all of the Saint Power Star Clusters, Wu Feng would definitely be frightened. Mo Qingyun replied and walked to Zhou Ping's side, waiting for Zhou Ping's instructions. Qingyun, since the assessment is over, let's leave first. Seeing Mo Qingyun come to his side, Zhou Ping didn't want to stay any longer. He stood up and said to Mo Qingyun. After speaking to Mo Qingyun, Zhou Ping turned to Wu Feng and Xiao Guan and said, Elder Wu Feng, Elder Xiao Guan, I will take my leave first. Let's meet again at my residence another day. Let me treat you well. Elder Zhou Ping, take care. The two of us will definitely go another day. Hearing Zhou Ping's words, Wu Feng and the other man immediately responded politely. In their opinion, Zhou Ping's current actions were to befriend the two of them. More importantly, they could establish a relationship with Mo Qingyun by befriending Zhou Ping. After bidding farewell to Wu Feng and Mo Qingyun, Zhou Ping and Mo Qingyun left the center of the square. Qingyun, come with me to see the sect leader first, then I'll arrange your accommodations. As they left the square, Zhou Ping told Mo Qingyun that he would lead the way. Hearing Zhou Ping's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze for a moment before he understood. With the talent he displayed, attracting Zhou Ping's attention was also a very normal thing. After understanding this, Mo Qingyun calmly followed behind Zhou Ping. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at a large hall under Zhou Ping's guidance. Inside the large hall, many people were seated with furrowed brows, as if they were discussing something. I heard that a powerhouse from the Blood Soul Galaxy has attacked several continents near us. That powerhouse from the Blood Soul Galaxy has already reached the Celestial Domain grade. I'm afraid we won't be able to deal with him. This matter has already been reported to the Divine Heavenly Bull sect. They will send people over very soon. The people from the Blood Soul Galaxy are getting more and more arrogant. They actually came to cause trouble openly. As Mo Qingyun walked into the large hall, he overheard everyone's conversation. Mo Qingyun was stunned when he heard these people's words. He immediately understood the reason for this matter. If I'm not mistaken, the powerhouse from the Blood Soul Galaxy that these people are talking about should be the Blood Shadow Remnant Consciousness. After learning about the Blood Shadow Remnant Consciousness, Mo Qingyun didn't panic. Instead, he was looking forward to it. He really wanted to see how the Blood Shadow Remnant Consciousness would deal with the powerhouses of the Divine Heavenly Bull sect when they arrived. Greetings, Sect Master. As Mo Qingyun pondered this, Zhou Ping arrived at the center of the large hall and bowed before the old man at the top of the hall. Upon hearing Zhou Ping's words, Mo Qingyun also cupped his hands and greeted everyone in the large hall. Disciple Mo Qingyun pays his respects to the sect master and the various elders. Upon seeing Zhou Ping's arrival, the sect master of the Divine Heavenly Bull Mountain sect, Iron Rhino, glanced at Mo Qingyun curiously and asked, Elder Zhou Ping, why have you brought an inner sect disciple here? In Iron Rhino's opinion, Zhou Ping bringing Mo Qingyun over should have something to do with Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Iron Rhino directly asked about Mo Qingyun, Zhou Ping looked at Mo Qingyun with admiration and said, Palace Master, Qingyun is the one with the best talent in this disciple assessment. His bone age is only 39 years old, and his bloodline is so powerful that the blood testing stone can't detect it. His Saint Energy Star Cluster has reached 7,000. Upon hearing Zhou Ping's words, everyone in the large hall was dumbfounded. Their eyes widened in shock. What? He has only cultivated for 39 years, and his cultivation has reached the Nebula Realm? His bloodline is so powerful that the blood-testing stone can't detect it? There's such a thing? Even the most talented disciple in the Divine Heavenly Bull sect doesn't have 7,000 Saint Energy Star Clusters, right? Upon hearing about Mo Qingyun's situation, all the elders in the large hall were shocked. Phew! While everyone was shocked, Iron Rhino took a deep breath and calmed himself down. At this moment, he finally understood why Zhou Ping was in a hurry to see him. If it was really as Zhou Ping said, Mo Qingyun's talent was a little scary. If that's the case, activate your bloodline power and release the Saint Energy Star Cluster for us to see. Iron Rhino had an expectant expression as he instructed Mo Qingyun. He wanted to see if Zhou Ping's words were true. It couldn't be helped. Zhou Ping was too exaggerated. If he didn't see it with his own eyes, he would find it hard to believe. All right. Upon hearing Iron Rhino's request, Mo Qingyan nodded and did as Iron Rhino said. Following that, a terrifying bloodline power was released from Mo Qingyan's body. When this bloodline power erupted, a terrifying flame power also spread out in the large hall. Sensing these two powers, Iron Rhino and the others in the large hall were all stunned. Zhou Ping's words were true. Mo Qingyan's talent was just as he said. It's actually as Zhou Ping said. After confirming Mo Qingyan's talent, Iron Rhino sucked in a breath of cold air. His eyes were filled with astonishment. At the same time, the way he looked at Mo Qingyan had also changed. After carefully sizing up Mo Qingyan, Iron Rhino gritted his teeth and made a huge decision. He said in a deep voice, "Elder Jiangyang immediately announced that our sect will make an exception to promote Mo Qingyan to an elite disciple." Yes. Hearing Iron Rhino's order, Jiangyang immediately responded and left to announce the news of Mo Qingyan's promotion. Zhou Ping and the others didn't find Iron Rhino's decision strange. They all nodded in agreement. Chapter 2448. Thank you, Sectmaster. Mo Qingyan cupped his fists gratefully after seeing Iron Rhino's action. His attitude was neither servile nor overbearing. Mo Qingyan's performance immediately made Iron Rhinoceros and the others' impression of him rise by several notches. Not bad, not bad. Iron Rhino nodded approvingly and pointed to the side. Elder Zhou Ping, you and Mo Qingyan don't need to stand there. Sit down and talk. Yes. Mo Qingyan and Iron Rhino nodded and found a place to sit down. When he saw Mo Qingyan sit down, Iron Rhino withdrew his gaze and said in a deep voice, "Previously, I was worried that Chun Zhao and Wu Guobang would fall behind in the competition for the Heavenly Bull inheritance after going to the Sky Wind sect and the Azure Cloud Sword sect. Now that Mo Qingyan has joined the sect, I can put down this worry." Hearing this, Zhou Ping and the others nodded with a faint smile on their face. Whether it was Chun Zhao or Wu Guobang, their talents were not worth mentioning in front of Mo Qingyan. Counting the time, there is only 1 month left until the Heavenly Bull inheritance opens. Zhou Ping's expression changed after hearing Iron Rhino mention the Heavenly Bull inheritance. He began to calculate the time. After being reminded by Zhou Ping, the faces of Tai Shi and the others changed, and their expressions became heavy. 1 month is too short. It would be great if there were a few years left. We can only wait for the next one. Iron Rhino couldn't help but sigh after knowing the time of the Heavenly Bull inheritance. Hearing the conversation of Iron Rhinoceros and the others, Mo Qingyan revealed a curious look, developing some interest in the Heavenly Bull inheritance. However, due to his identity, Mo Qingyan didn't ask right away. He planned to slowly find out later. There is still more than a month before the Heavenly Bull inheritance opens. It was enough for him to slowly gather information. After everyone talked about the Heavenly Bull inheritance for a while, Iron Rhino became curious. He turned to Mo Qingyan and said, "Mo Qingyan, if I'm not wrong, you shouldn't be from the Heavenly Bull continent. Tell us about your background." Hearing Iron Rhino's words, Zhou Ping and the others were curious. All right. Hearing Iron Rhino's request, Mo Qingyan nodded in agreement and began to explain his identity. Following Mo Qingyan's continuous narration, the expressions on the faces of Tai Shi and the rest became more and more shocked. They didn't expect that the continent Mo Qingyan was from didn't even have 1 star. No wonder Mo Qingyan did not condense a star seal when he broke through to the nebula realm. It's hard to imagine that the continent you were born in is so barren. He looked at Mo Qingyan with even more approval. But this way, it can even show your talent and perseverance. It's not something ordinary people can compare to. Mo Qingyan did not defend himself against Iron Rhino's evaluation. He just sat calmly to the side. Understanding Mo Qingyan's background, the misgivings in Iron Rhinoceros's heart also reduced greatly because of this. Mo Qingyan wasn't from the Blood Soul Galaxy, so other than that, it didn't matter. As for whether Mo Qingyun was lying or not, he wasn't worried at all. He would send someone to the wild continent to investigate. Qingyun, what are your thoughts and plans for coming to the Wood Source Galaxy this time? Iron Rhino asked Mo Qingyun curiously. He wanted to hear about Mo Qingyun's ambitions. Mo Qingyun pondered Iron Rhinoceros's question for a moment before replying. Secmaster, my thoughts are simple. The wild continent is too lacking in cultivation resources. If possible, I would like to collect some cultivation techniques and bring them back to the wild continent to spread, knowing how to repay kindness and benefit everyone. This is a good idea. Iron Rhinoceros was not dissatisfied with Mo Qingyun's thoughts. Instead, he praised him greatly. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's thoughts showed that he was a sentimental person. In this way, the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect will be able to nurture Mo Qingyun with less worry. Given Mo Qingyun's temperament, once he matured, he would definitely be grateful to the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect. Given Mo Qingyun's terrifying talent, his future achievements would be limitless. His gratitude was too precious. Iron Rhinoceros immediately made a decision. He turned to Zhou Ping and instructed, Elder Zhou Ping, take Qingyun to the tourist pavilion and let him stay there from now on. The tourist pavilion. Zhou Ping's expression changed when he heard Iron Rhinoceros's instructions. His eyes flashed with intense shock. He was well aware of the importance of the tourist pavilion. It wasn't a place where ordinary disciples could stay. However, when he thought about Mo Qingyun's potential, Zhou Ping felt relieved. He could understand Iron Rhinoceros's intentions. Qingyun, let's go. Zhou Ping stood up and gave some instructions to Mo Qingyun. Then he walked out of the hall. Elder Huang Fan immediately sent a message to the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect and report the matter regarding Mo Qingyun. As soon as Mo Qingyun walked out of the hall, Iron Rhinoceros instructed an elder to report Mo Qingyun's matter. After all, Mo Qingyun's talent was too terrifying. A small sect like the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect couldn't accommodate him. Only by letting Mo Qingyun enter the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect would he be able to receive better nurturing and achieve greater achievements. Qingyun, follow me. After coming out of the hall, Zhou Ping led the way in front and arranged a residence for Mo Qingyun. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of a magnificent mansion under Zhou Ping's lead. This mansion was very large, spanning several hundred acres. Moreover, the spiritual energy was very abundant. Under Mo Qingyun's perception, the spiritual energy in this mansion was at least 10 times denser than in the wild continent. In other words, if Mo Qingyun cultivated here, the effect would be 10 times more effective than in the wild continent. While Mo Qingyun was sizing up the mansion, Zhou Ping stepped into the mansion and arrived in front of a golden bull statue. Following behind Zhou Ping, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of the golden bull statue. He felt a mysterious energy. This statue, sensing the power of the golden bull statue, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. His eyes were filled with shock. Zhou Ping seemed to have expected Mo Qingyun's reaction. He smiled faintly and said, This golden bull statue contains the will of many powerhouses. These wills contain cultivation insights and cultivation techniques. Therefore, comprehending this golden bull statue will be of immeasurable help to you. Hearing Zhou Ping's explanation, Mo Qingyun was immediately pleasantly surprised. His eyes were filled with anticipation. While Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised, Zhou Ping pondered for a moment and said, The people who originally lived in the Golden Bull Pavilion were all the young sect masters of the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect. Now that the sect master has allowed you to live here, it can be seen that he values you greatly. You must not disappoint his expectations. Elder, don't worry. I will definitely not disappoint. Hearing Zhou Ping's words, Mo Qingyun nodded in understanding and promised with a solemn expression. Chapter 2449. Zhou Ping nodded his head in satisfaction when he saw Mo Qingyun's attitude. He didn't doubt Mo Qingyun's words at all. Even though Mo Qingyun's talent was monstrous, he had only used 39 years to break through to the nebula grade. This point alone was enough to show how hard he had worked on his cultivation. Although living in the tourist pavilion is good, there are still some hidden dangers that you have to take precautions against. After talking about the benefits of living in the tourist pavilion, Zhou Ping changed the topic and began to talk about the drawbacks of the tourist pavilion. Due to the special significance of the tourist pavilion, there are many eyes watching it. Now that you have moved in, you will become the target of public criticism. You have to be wary of some people making things difficult for you. You don't have to worry about this. Since I have moved in, I naturally won't let others cause trouble. Mo Qingyun was very clear about the situation that Zhou Ping was talking about. With an indifferent expression, he said, "If they dare to offend me, I will beat them back. I will beat them until they don't dare to provoke me." This old man forgot about that. "You're also a troublemaker, Brad." Zhou Ping immediately laughed heartily when he saw Mo Qingyun's attitude. He no longer worried about Mo Qingyun. Previously, when they were at the mountain gate, he had seen Mo Qingyun's character from Mo Qingyun's behavior. If nothing unexpected happened, anyone who tried to cause trouble for Mo Qingyun wouldn't have a good ending. Living in the tourist pavilion alone seems too lonely. I will arrange some servants for you later. After accompanying Mo Qingyun around the tourist pavilion, Zhou Ping pondered for a moment and made some arrangements for Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't object to Zhou Ping's arrangement. He nodded his head and agreed. Living in the tourist pavilion alone was indeed a little lonely. It would be good to find some servants to add some liveliness. After Zhou Ping finished speaking, he thought for a moment and suggested to Mo Qingyun, in addition to finding some servants, you can also recruit some disciples to live in the tourist pavilion and take care of the mansion for you. You can do that? Hearing Zhou Ping's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze for a moment. He immediately had a plan and thought to himself, if Shi Wei and the others are willing, I'll let them live here and manage the pavilion for me. Mo Qingyun thought so. Firstly, he wanted to find someone to manage the mansion. Secondly, he wanted to take care of Shi Wei and the others. If nothing unexpected happened, when Shi Wei and the others entered the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect, Di Qiu would probably find trouble with them. If they lived in the tourist pavilion, no matter how bold Di Qiu was, he would have to think twice before acting. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived at the main hall of the tourist pavilion under Zhou Ping's guidance. Inside the main hall of the pavilion, Zhou Ping stood before a platform and pointed at a jade seal. This seal is the core of the pavilion. Refine it, and you'll be able to control the formations. Oh, seeing the seal on Zhou Ping's finger, Mo Qingyun did not think too much and immediately refined it. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Zhou Ping couldn't help but be stunned. A faint smile appeared at the corners of his mouth as he said, "This brat is quite decisive in his actions. But this is also good. Now that he has refined the Taurus jade seal, he can avoid any more trouble." Thinking of this, Zhou Ping no longer hesitated and stood guard for Mo Qingyun. As Mo Qingyun refined the Taurus jade seal, a shocking flame energy erupted from his body. What a powerful flame energy. It's even stronger than when he released the Saint Power Star cluster. Did he hold back? Sensing the flame energy released by Mo Qingyun, Zhou Ping was shocked. He stared at Mo Qingyun with his eyes wide open. Zhou Ping's body shuddered when he had this thought. He quickly shook his head and said, "That shouldn't be the case. If he's still holding back, the number of Saint Power Star clusters that he possesses would be more than 7,000. Even a genius from a 3-star realm wouldn't be able to reach that standard." In Zhou Ping's opinion, if that was the case, it would be too terrifying. He would rather believe that he was overthinking. Suppressing the shock in his heart, Zhou Ping's expression was tense as he stood guard by the side. With his nebula realm cultivation, I'm afraid he'll need 2 months to refine the seal. Zhou Ping calculated the time, and Mo Qingyun would need to refine the seal. His expression immediately changed as he said nervously, "There's only 1 month left before the Heavenly Bull inheritance descends. If that's the case, won't Qingyun miss it? What should I do?" Although he was anxious, Zhou Ping did not disturb Mo Qingyun. Instead, he was thinking of how to speed up the process for Mo Qingyun. While Zhou Ping was pondering, an unbelievable scene unfolded before his eyes. He realized that Mo Qingyun's refining speed was far faster than he had imagined. Qingyun has already refined one of the saint runes of the Taurus Jade Seal. Zhou Ping's eyes widened when he saw the changes in the Taurus Jade Seal. He felt as if his brain wasn't working properly. He exclaimed, "It's only been a quarter of an hour, and he's already refined one of the runes. At this rate, won't he be able to refine it in half a month?" After making this discovery, the shock in Zhou Ping's heart immediately intensified. This discovery really frightened him. Mo Qingyun's performance was too monstrous. Next, Zhou Ping watched Mo Qingyun refine the Taurus Jade Seal with a shocked expression. In the blink of an eye, 7 days had passed. Under Zhou Ping's shocked gaze, Mo Qingyun successfully refined the Taurus Jade Seal. "I've finally refined it." After 7 days of continuous refinement, Mo Qingyun finally refined the Taurus Jade Seal. Then, he withdrew from his cultivation and lamented, "I never imagined that I would need 7 days to refine such a small Taurus Jade Seal. It seems like my cultivation base is too low, which is why the refining speed was so slow. This kid is really trying to give me a blow." Zhou Ping's expression turned bitter when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He wished he could kill himself with a piece of tofu. Given his late-stage galaxy-grade cultivation base, it would take him at least 10 days to refine the Taurus Jade Seal. Mo Qingyun was merely at the nebula grade, yet he actually thought that 7 days was too slow. This was too much of a blow. Zhou Ping couldn't help but shake his head and lament. This should be the difference between geniuses and ordinary people. Ordinary people like us really don't understand the world in the eyes of geniuses. Thank you, Elder, for protecting me and allowing me to refine the Taurus Jade Seal with peace of mind. Looking at Zhou Ping in front of him, Mo Qingyun showed a grateful expression and cupped his hands towards Zhou Ping. Zhou Ping waved his hands in response to Mo Qingyun's gratitude. "There's no need for such formalities. Since you have refined the Taurus Jade Seal, this old man won't stay any longer." After saying that, Zhou Ping stood up and walked out of the Taurus Pavilion. Chapter 2450. Since I've refined the Taurus Jade Seal, I'll go ask Shi Wei and the others if they're willing to move in. After sending Zhou Ping off, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before going to look for Shi Wei and the others. As soon as Mo Qingyun walked out of the Taurus Pavilion, he was blocked by a group of people who were looking at him with ill intentions. Seeing that his path was blocked, Mo Qingyun was stunned for a moment before a faint smile appeared on his face. If he guessed correctly, the appearance of these people had something to do with the Taurus Pavilion. "Boy, you've got guts. How dare you move into the Taurus Pavilion? Don't you know that the Taurus Pavilion isn't a place for ordinary people to live in? If you know what's good for you, move out immediately and get lost. What are you waiting for? Didn't you hear what I said?" The group of people blocked Mo Qingyun's path and scolded Mo Qingyun loudly in an arrogant manner. Mo Qingyun didn't care about these people's scolding at all. He glanced at them indifferently. "You guys came pretty quickly. Elder Zhou Ping just left, and you guys can't wait to come." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly as he looked at the people in front of him. His expression turned cold as he said, "I've just entered the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect and don't want to cause too much trouble. If you guys know what's good for you and leave, I won't bicker with you." Seeing that Mo Qingyun was even more arrogant than them, the people in front of him were immediately enraged and their faces darkened. If they didn't teach Mo Qingyun a lesson, they wouldn't be able to show their faces in the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect in the future. "Boy, it seems like you're itching for a beating. I'll have to teach you a lesson." A Peak Nebula Realm disciple sneered at Mo Qingyun and extended his palm towards Mo Qingyun. When the disciple made his move, a terrifying surge of violent saint energy burst out from his body. "Violent Tiger Claw." The disciple bent his palm, and the violent saint power gathered in his palm turned into a golden tiger claw, grabbing at Mo Qingyun. Li Xian hid his strength quite well. He actually broke through to the peak of the Nebula Realm. At this rate, he will soon be promoted to an elite disciple. In my opinion, Li Xin wants to use this boy to establish his prestige and show that he has the qualifications to be an elite disciple. This brat is really unlucky. He was stepped on by Li Xin as soon as he entered the sect and became Li Xin's stepping stone. Seeing that Li Xin had attacked Mo Qingyun, the people around him gloated and their eyes were filled with mockery. Under the gazes of the crowd, Mo Qingyun remained calm and raised his hand to meet Li Xin's attack. He said, "You're just an ant. How dare you attack me? Don't blame me for being rude." Mo Qingyun knew very well that if he continued to be patient, it would only make these people even more arrogant. Therefore, what he needed to do now was to crush Li Xin and establish his dominance. Other than that, he also wanted to teach Li Xin a lesson to make an example out of him. As Mo Qingyun waved his palm, a terrifying flame energy burst out from his body. Then, the power of the flame gathered on his palm like a fire dragon. Demonic star splitting palm. As Mo Qingyun waved his palm, a flaming palm shadow blasted out from his palm. The flaming palm shadow blasted out with a violent force, crushing down on Li Xin. So powerful. Sensing the aura of Mo Qingyun's palm, Li Xin's expression changed drastically. He panicked and said, "Could the rumors be true? This brat's strength has reached the galaxy grade?" Bang! Just as Li Xin was panicking, the flaming palm shadow approached and swallowed him and the golden tiger claw. Under the bombardment of the flaming palm shadow, the golden tiger claw was instantly destroyed and dissipated. When the golden tiger claw was destroyed, the flaming palm shadow engulfed Li Xin and sent him flying. Poof! After being hit by the flaming palm shadow, Li Xin immediately vomited blood and lay on the ground with a pale face. Seeing Li Xin's miserable state, the faces of the people around him changed. Fear filled their eyes. They had not expected Mo Qingyun to be so powerful. He was not someone they could contend with. Scram! After sending Li Xin flying, Mo Qingyun did not attack again. He only shouted at the rest of the people. After hearing Mo Qingyun's angry shout, the rest of the people did not dare to stay any longer. They immediately carried Li Xin away. "Brat, just you wait. We will not let this matter rest." Li Xin is senior brother, Li Xiaoyuan's younger brother. Since you have injured Li Xin, senior brother Li Xiaoyuan will not let this matter rest. Just you wait. When senior brother Li Xiaoyuan comes out of seclusion, he will definitely teach you a lesson. When those people carried Li Xin away, they did not want to be outdone. They threw some harsh words at Mo Qingyun. Regarding those people's vicious words, Mo Qingyun directly ignored them. Mo Qingyun's thoughts were simple. As long as Li Xiaoyuan dared to provoke him, he would dare to teach Li Xiaoyuan a lesson. He wanted to gain a foothold in the Sky Bull Mountain sect. Coincidentally, he was lacking a powerful opponent. Li Xiaoyuan was very suitable. It was easy to find the residence of the unnamed disciples. After asking a few people, Mo Qingyun arrived at the residence of the unnamed disciples. He saw a simple and crude house. The difference between these rooms and his tourist pavilion was like the difference between heaven and earth. It's him, the person who injured Dikamakong. Isn't he going to be conferred as an elite disciple? Why is he here at the residence of the unnamed disciples? I'm not sure. Could it be that he made a mistake and was demoted to an unnamed disciple? That's not possible. Looking at him, he seems to be looking for someone. Due to Mo Qingyun's performance previously, it left a deep impression on everyone. He attracted a lot of people's attention the moment he arrived. Under everyone's respectful gazes, Mo Qingyun walked in front of a person and said, "This junior apprentice brother, I want to ask, where's Shi Wei and the rest standing?" You're looking for Shi Wei." Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, this person's expression immediately trembled. A look of panic appeared on his face. Not long ago, Dichio went to find Shi Wei and the rest, wanting to have ill intentions toward Shi Wei. If he told Mo Qingyun where Shi Wei and the rest were staying now, it might ruin Dichio's good deed. If he offended Dichio because of this was not what he wanted. Looks like Shi Wei they all ran into trouble. Seeing this person's performance, Mo Qingyun's heart stirred, guessing a possibility. When Mo Qingyun thought of this point, his expression turned dark. He said coldly, "What I asked you, didn't you hear? Do you want me to say it again?" Under Mo Qingyun's cold shout, this person was immediately scared until his body trembled. He said with a frightened expression, Senior apprentice brother Mo, please calm down. Shi Wei and the rest houses are the three in the front." Although he was very unwilling in his heart, he did not dare to not say it. Mo Qingyun was more terrifying than Di Qiu. Chapter 2451. After knowing the location of Shi Wei's residence, Mo Qingyun ignored this person and walked towards Shi Wei's residence. After a while, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of Shi Wei's house and saw a few people guarding outside. Seeing this scene, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up and he had a bad feeling. He thought to himself, "Oh no, someone is trying to harm Shi Wei. I have to stop him immediately." When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he did not waste any more time and immediately walked towards Shi Wei's house. The few people guarding outside the house saw Mo Qingyun coming over and their faces immediately darkened. They shouted, "Stop, this is not a place for you. Disappear from our sight immediately." After saying this, he threw a palm at Mo Qingyun as if he wanted to drive Mo Qingyun away. "Get lost." Seeing this person's action, Mo Qingyun directly slapped him and sent him flying. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, the gazes of the other people guarding outside the house immediately turned cold. "Boy, how dare you attack him? I think you are tired of living. Go get rid of this boy. Don't let him ruin young Master Di Qiu's plan." The few people exchanged glances and surrounded Mo Qingyun. They attacked Mo Qingyun fiercely. Facing these people's attack, Mo Qingyun did not flinch and took the initiative to meet them. A mantis trying to stop a chariot, asking for trouble. Mo Qingyun didn't even bother dodging their attacks. He simply allowed their fists to land on him. While Mo Qingyun forcefully withstood their fists, he also waved his palms and blasted them towards them. "Boy, now that you know how powerful we are you regretting it now? I thought you were very powerful. It turns out that you are only strong in appearance. You're just a paper tiger." Seeing that all of their attacks were focused on Mo Qingyun, everyone immediately started mocking him. However, before they could finish their words, they were all stunned and their eyes were wide open. Mo Qingyun took their attacks head-on and was not injured at all. He stood there without moving. "It's too early for you to be happy." Looking at the shocked expressions of the crowd, Mo Qingyun curled his lips in disdain and said disdainfully, "Your attacks are just like scratching an itch on my body." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he waved his palms and landed them one after another. Bang, bang, bang. Under Mo Qingyun's palm attack, the crowd was immediately sent flying and fell heavily to the ground. These people fell to the ground and lost their ability to fight. They looked at Mo Qingyun in horror. Judging from the current situation, Mo Qingyun's battle prowess was even stronger than what they had heard. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore everyone's shocked gazes and walked to Shi Wei's door. Bang! Mo Qingyun lifted his leg and kicked open the door of Shi Wei's house. He saw Di Qiu and the others in the house. At this moment, Shi ran and Shi Shi were covered in wounds and had fainted. As for Shi Wei, she looked at the sneering Di Qiu with a frightened expression on her face. In addition, Shi Wei's clothes were forcefully torn, revealing her snow-white skin. From this scene, it seemed that Di Qiu was deliberately teasing her and wanted to take off her clothes bit by bit. "Who let you in? Get out here immediately. Don't you know that I am busy?" Hearing that the door was opened, Di Qiu scolded unhappily. His eyes were still on Shi Wei's body, and he said, "Little beauty, you should give up resisting. No one will come to save you today." "Who said so?" Hearing Di Qiu's words, Mo Qingyun walked into the house with a cold expression and asked him back. Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Shi Wei was immediately delighted and quickly leaned over to Mo Qingyun. Why are you here?" Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Di Chio immediately panicked, and his expression became tense. In his mind, Mo Qingyun should have become the target of public criticism after living in the tourist pavilion. He should have no time to spare. Now that he was here, it was a little too abnormal, and it caught him off guard. Mo Qingyun ignored Di Chio's question and took out a piece of clothing to cover Shiwei. Seeing that Mo Qingyun ignored him, Di Chio was angry, but he did not dare to show his anger. He had experienced Mo Qingyun's temper and character before. He was a master who feared nothing in the world. All of them are down. This guy is too cruel. Seeing that his followers were defeated, Di Chio was shocked again, and he was even more afraid of Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Mo Qingyun had arrived, Di Chio did not want to stay any longer and was ready to leave the house immediately. He knew that he could not do anything to Shiwei now that Mo Qingyun had appeared. Did I say you could leave? Mo Qingyun's face sank when he saw Di Chio's actions, and he questioned Di Chio. Di Chio trembled when he heard Mo Qingyun's question. He looked at Mo Qingyun nervously and said, Little brat, don't go too far. You have already become the target of public criticism after living in the tourist pavilion. I advise you not to make any more strong enemies. I'm afraid you will be disappointed if you think you can scare me with this. Mo Qingyun did not care about Di Chio's threat. Instead, he said arrogantly, So what if I'm the target of public criticism? I don't mind teaching them all a lesson if they dare to provoke me. Mo Qingyun was not lying. Given his current strength, as long as they were not celestial domain-grade powerhouses, it would be useless no matter how many galaxy grades came. Seeing that he did not scare Mo Qingyun, Di Chio panicked a little and said with a nervous expression, What the hell do you want? This is the Sky Bull Mountain sect. The sect will not let you off if you injure a fellow sect member. Don't worry, I won't injure you badly. I will just teach you a lesson. Mo Qingyun's lips curled when he heard Di Chio's words. He had a perfect plan. Using the bloody light door to deal with Di Chio seemed more effective than injuring him severely. Bloody light door. Mo Qingyun flipped his palm and emitted a mysterious power that condensed into a bloody light door. As soon as the blood-colored light door was formed, Mo Qingyun sent it flying towards Di Chio. Di Chio was so frightened that his body trembled and his face turned pale when he saw Mo Qingyun's actions. He hadn't expected that Mo Qingyun wouldn't care about his words at all and would still attack him decisively. The speed of the bloody light door was so fast that it blasted into Di Chio's body before he could react. Di Chio's face turned pale and his aura weakened a little when he was hit by the bloody light door. After using the bloody light door on Di Chio, Mo Qingyun ignored him. Scram, don't let me see you again. Otherwise, I won't let you off so easily. Chapter 2452. In the main hall of the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect, Zhou Ping left the tourist pavilion and came here directly to report that Mo Qingyun had refined the tourist jade seal. When Zhou Ping walked into the main hall, he saw that Tai Shi and the others were sitting there with gloomy faces. One of the late-stage galaxy-grade elders had lost an arm and was sitting on a chair with a pale face. Seeing this scene, Zhou Ping's heart skipped a beat. He had a bad feeling and asked, Sect Master, what's going on? Who injured Elder Sunyu? Hearing Zhou Ping's question, Tai Shi's face sank, and he said coldly, The person who injured Elder Sunyu is a powerhouse from the Blood Soul Galaxy. Not long ago, he came to the Heavenly Bull Continent and attacked our sect, the Fengyan Sky sect, and the Qin Yin Sword sect. Elder Sun Yu was injured by him. What? He's still in the Wood Source Galaxy? He's too arrogant. Knowing who had injured Elder Sun Yu, Zhou Ping's face sank, and he said angrily, This demon is too arrogant. We can't tolerate him. We have to teach him a lesson. The others in the main hall nodded in agreement when they heard Zhou Ping's words. Tai Shi frowned when he saw everyone's reaction. He spread his hands and said, Everyone calm down. That demon is not only strong, but he also controls dozens of powerful blood dragons. We can't contend with him with our strength. Zhou Ping couldn't help but fall silent when he heard Tai Shi's words. His face was full of unwillingness. Elder Sun Yu had injured the demon. He was really unwilling to let this matter go. You don't have to care about this demon from the Blood Soul Galaxy. Tell me about Mo Qingyun. After explaining the situation to Zhou Ping, Taishi changed the topic and asked about Mo Qingyun's recent situation. In his opinion, it was more important to nurture Mo Qingyun than deal with the Blood Shadow Remnant thought. Sect Master, Mo Qingyun has refined the Taurus Jade Seal and successfully gained control of the Taurus Pavilion. Hearing Iron Rhinoceros ask about Mo Qingyun, Zhou Ping revealed a gratified smile and told him about Mo Qingyun. After listening to Zhou Ping's report, everyone in the hall was stunned, and their expressions were difficult to conceal. They were very clear about the time needed to refine the Taurus Jade Seal. A Nebula Realm cultivator would need at least 2 months. However, Mo Qingyun only used 7 days. This was a little scary. After a brief moment of surprise, Taishi used a meaningful gaze to look at Zhou Ping, who was in the center of the hall, and said, "Elder Zhou Ping, it seems that helping Mo Qingyun refine the Taurus Jade Seal, you should have expended a lot of effort. I won't hide it from Sect Master. When Mo Qingyun refined the Taurus Jade Seal, I didn't do anything at all." Upon hearing Iron Rhinoceros's words, Zhou Ping revealed a bitter smile, knowing that Iron Rhinoceros misunderstood. After explaining to Iron Rhinoceros, Zhou Ping revealed a blushing expression and said in shame, "Although I don't want to admit it, I have to admit that in front of that kid, my years of cultivation have been in vain." Hearing Zhou Ping's words, the curiosity on Iron Rhinoceros's face immediately became thicker. He still understood Zhou Ping's character. He wasn't the kind of person who admitted defeat easily. Now that Zhou Ping actually said this, it was certain that some of Mo Qingyun's actions had dealt him a deep blow. Under Iron Rhinoceros's curious gaze, Zhou Ping's expression became more serious, and a trace of doubt appeared in his eyes as he said, "When Mo Qingyun refined the Taurus Jade Seal, the flame power he released felt much stronger than during the talent test. I feel that he might be hiding his talent." When Zhou Ping's words left his mouth, the hall was in an uproar. Everyone's faces were filled with shock. This news shocked them quite a bit, causing their emotions to be like perilous waves. The talent that Mo Qingyun displayed now was already very frightening. If he was still hiding his talent, then how monstrous would the talent that he possessed be? "Elder Zhou Ping, is this matter true?" Iron Rhinoceros had a nervous expression as he confirmed with Zhou Ping, a look of anticipation surging in his eyes. He was very clear that this matter was very important. There could not be the slightest bit of carelessness. This subordinate still can't be sure. Why don't we summon Mo Qingyun over and retest his talent? Under Iron Rhinoceros's inquiry, Zhou Ping thought for a moment and suggested to Iron Rhinoceros, "That's not necessary." Hearing Zhou Ping's suggestion, Iron Rhinoceros shook his head and refused. He said solemnly, "The impact of this matter is too great. Everybody, don't spread it out first. Wait for the Heavenly Bull Divine Sect's emissary to arrive before talking." "Yes." Regarding Iron Rhinoceros's exhortation, Zhou Ping and the rest nodded their heads in response and no longer discussed Mo Qingyun's talent. They were worried that if Mo Qingyun's talent leaked out, it would cause the Fengyun Heavenly Sect and Qingyun Sword Sect to deal with it. Mo Qingyun did not know about Zhou Ping's actions. After beating Di Qiu away, he turned to look at Shi Wei and asked for her opinion. "I'm here this time to ask if you're willing to move to the Taurus Pavilion." "You want us to move to the Taurus Pavilion?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Shi Wei was immediately shocked. Her pair of beautiful eyes widened. This news was too shocking for her. She was not mentally prepared at all. She knew very well what kind of place the Taurus Pavilion was. It was the place where the young master of the Sky Bull Mountain sect lived. If one cultivated there, they would be able to achieve twice the results with half the effort. Now, that Mo Qingyun was inviting her to live there. How could she not be shocked and overjoyed? "Thank you, Mr. Mo. I'll listen to your arrangements." Shi Wei calmed down and put on an obedient expression as she nodded at Mo Qingyun. Knowing Shi Wei's attitude, Mo Qingyun looked at Shi Ran and the other man. He released a surge of saint power to wake them up. Xiaowei, are you okay? Ah, Mr. Mo is here. That's great. She ran and the other man were excited when they woke up. It was an instinctive reaction. Hearing she ran and the other man's question, Wei shook her head at them and said, I'm fine. When Dichio was bullying me, Mr. Mo arrived in time and beat Dichio away. That's great. Knowing that Wei was fine, Ran took a deep breath and patted her chest. When she realized that her action was a little bold, her pretty face blushed immediately. Seeing Ran's shy expression, Wei tried to smooth things over for her and change the topic. Young Master Mo, you came to us this time to ask if the three of us are willing to move into Taurus Pavilion. Move to the Taurus Pavilion? Is that really okay? Hearing Wei's question, Ran and the other man were pleasantly surprised and excited. Seeing Ran and the other man's reaction, Mo Qingyan knew what they were thinking. He said, pack up. We'll go back to the Taurus Pavilion now. Chapter 2453. In the residence of the elite disciples, in a magnificent mansion, a disheveled young man arrived at the mansion with the help of a group of people. As soon as the young man entered the mansion, he went to a secret chamber and shouted, Big brother, something bad has happened. The Taurus Pavilion has been occupied. The young man who had spoken was none other than Li Xian, who had been taught a lesson by Mo Qingyan. After Li Xian finished speaking, he waited outside the secret chamber with a nervous expression on his face. Shortly after, the door of the secret chamber opened and a stern-looking young man walked out. The Taurus Pavilion has been occupied? Is it Dinai or Su Chuanxin? Li Xiaoyuan asked coldly as she looked at Li Xian, who was standing outside the secret chamber. It's neither of them. Li Xian shook his head and denied Li Xiaoyuan's words. With a gloomy expression, he said, the person who is occupying the Taurus Pavilion is a brat who has just entered the sect. Relying on his high talent and the sect leaders and elders' high opinion of him, he arrogantly moved in. A disciple who has just entered the sect? Hearing Li Xian's reply, shock surfaced on Li Xiaoyuan's face. She rubbed her chin in interest and said, for a disciple who has just entered the sect to be able to receive such recognition from the sect master, it looks like his talent is indeed very great. I become interested in him. Li Xian's face lit up when he heard Li Xiaoyuan's words. His heart was filled with anticipation. In his opinion, if Li Xiaoyuan was willing to step in, she would definitely be able to teach Mo Qingyan a lesson. He was very confident in Li Xiaoyuan's strength, which was comparable to a late-stage galaxy-grade elite. What happened to your injuries? Li Xiaoyuan asked curiously when she noticed the injuries on Li Xian's body after exchanging a few words with him. When Li Xiaoyuan asked about his injuries, Li Xian put on an aggrieved expression and complained, I know that you have been paying attention to the Taurus Pavilion. When I found out that the Taurus Pavilion had been occupied, I immediately rushed over to persuade that kid to leave the Taurus Pavilion. Who would have thought that the kid would be so arrogant and unreasonable? Not only did he not listen to my advice, but he also used his own strength to beat me up. Is there such a thing? After listening to Li Xian's words, Li Xiaoyuan's eyes narrowed slightly, and a doubtful look appeared on her face. Li Xian was his younger brother, so he knew Li Xian's character very well. The truth of the matter should not be as he said. But to Li Xiaoyuan, this was not the most important part. What was important was that Mo Qingyan had hit Li Xian. As Li Xian's elder brother, he should seek an explanation for Li Xian and kick Mo Qingyan out of the Taurus Pavilion. No matter what happened, you are my younger brother. He should pay the price for hitting you. Li Xiaoyuan used a tough tone to express her attitude. He then rushed to the Taurus Pavilion. Seeing Li Xiaoyuan's attitude, the joy on Li Xian's face immediately became even stronger. He said excitedly, Thank you, Big Brother, for standing up for me. If that brat knew that Big Brother was going to teach him a lesson, he would definitely be scared witless. Li Xiaoyuan did not take Li Xian's flattering words to heart. She walked in front with a cold expression. Mo Qingyan did not know about the arrival of Li Xian and the others. He left with Wei and the other two and returned to the Taurus Pavilion, entering the pavilion. When Mo Qingyun returned to the tourist pavilion, he brought them to the west courtyard and said, "From now on, the three of you will stay in the west courtyard. Everything else is up to you." "Thank you, Mr. Mo." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Shi Wei and the other two were touched. They quickly bowed to express their gratitude. While Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, Zhou Ping came to the tourist pavilion again. At this moment, there were many people behind Zhou Ping. There were both men and women in the group. If he was not mistaken, the people Zhou Ping brought with him should be Mo Qingyun's servants. "Elder Zhou Ping is here. I will go and receive him. The three of you can do as you please." After informing Shi Wei and the other two, Mo Qingyun left to receive Zhou Ping and the others. After a while, Mo Qingyun came in front of Zhou Ping. He bowed humbly to Zhou Ping and said, "Disciple Mo Qingyun welcomes Elder. No need to be so polite." Zhou Ping smiled and waved his hand at Mo Qingyun's actions. He said, "I came to you this time to bring you some servants. They will serve you in your daily life from now on." "Elder, I'm sorry to have troubled you." After hearing Zhou Ping's intentions, Mo Qingyun was grateful. He bowed again to Zhou Ping and thanked him. Zhou Ping nodded approvingly at Mo Qingyun's humble actions. He said, "I still have some things to take care of. I will not talk to you anymore. You can arrange these servants on your own." After Zhou Ping finished speaking, he immediately turned around and left, looking like he was in a hurry. "Farewell, Elder." Seeing Zhou Ping turn and leave, Mo Qingyun immediately bowed and watched as Zhou Ping left. After Zhou Ping left, Mo Qingyun looked at the servants and thought about how to arrange them. Mo Qingyun thought for a while and came up with a plan. He thought to himself, it would be a good choice to let Shi Wei and the other two take care of these servants. With this idea in mind, Mo Qingyun summoned Shi Wei and the other two and told them his idea. "Mr. Mo, don't worry. The three of us will take good care of Tourist Pavilion." After hearing Mo Qingyun's idea, Shi Wei and the other two's expressions became serious. They immediately promised Mo Qingyun. In Shi Wei and the other two's eyes, Mo Qingyun trusted them by leaving these servants to them. Good. Seeing Shi Wei and the other two's attitude, Mo Qingyun nodded with satisfaction. This matter was resolved. At this moment, a burst of irritable shouts could be heard from outside the courtyard. "Mo Qingyun, get the hell out here. Otherwise, don't blame us for rushing in. Mo Qingyun, are you a coward? You only know how to hide in your shell. You're not a man. You're as cowardly as a mouse." A series of unpleasant curses came from the mouths of the people outside the courtyard. Hearing these words, Mo Qingyun frowned and his face turned cold. Shi Wei and the other two's expressions became tense. They couldn't help but worry for Mo Qingyun. "It seems that I have to deal with these troubles before I can cultivate in peace." Hearing the commotion outside, Mo Qingyun sighed and said to Shi Wei and the other two, "The three of you stay here and assign tasks to these people. I'll go out and deal with these people." After saying this, Mo Qingyun walked out of the tourist pavilion to meet the people who had come to cause trouble. After a while, Mo Qingyun walked out of tourist pavilion and saw Li Xiaoyuan and the others. "So it's you. You came pretty quickly." When he saw Li Xiaoyuan in the crowd, a faint smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face as he teased him. After mocking Li Xiaoyuan, Mo Qingyun looked at Li Xiaoyuan and couldn't help but take a few more glances at her. Chapter 2454. Early Nebulous Stage. Sensing Mo Qingyun's cultivation, Li Xiaoyuan's expression immediately revealed surprise. When Li Xiaoyuan reported to him, he did not mention Mo Qingyun's cultivation. Therefore, he instinctively thought that Mo Qingyun was able to defeat Li Xiaoyuan because he was at least at the middle nebulous stage. He did not expect that Mo Qingyun was only at the early nebulous stage. This surprised him. Immediately, he could not help but regard Mo Qingyun highly in his heart. It seemed that Mo Qingyun was indeed not simple. No wonder Tai, Shi, and the others thought highly of him. With your early nebulous stage cultivation, You can defeat Li Xian. You have some ability. Looking at Mo Qingyun in front of him, Li Xiaoyuan praised him. His expression turned cold as he said, "However, Li Xian is my second brother after all. Since you injured him, I can't stand by and do nothing. I have to seek justice for him. In that case, there's nothing more to say. Let's fight." Understanding Li Xiaoyuan's meaning, Mo Qingyun did not waste time talking nonsense with him. He directly assumed a fighting stance. Seeing Mo Qingyun's straightforward performance, Li Xiaoyuan was stunned. His eyes flashed with surprise. If Mo Qingyun showed any signs of panic, he would definitely attack without hesitation. However, Mo Qingyun's calm attitude made him somewhat uncertain. He did not dare to act rashly against Mo Qingyun. "Although I don't know where your confidence comes from, you've won my respect." After carefully sizing up Mo Qingyun, Li Xiaoyuan revealed a sly expression and said in a deep voice, "How about this? Let's have a bet. If you lose, go and ask the sect master and elders to give me the right to stay in the tourist pavilion. If I lose, we'll write off the matter of you injuring my second brother. How about it?" Hearing Li Xiaoyuan's suggestion, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He was somewhat interested. However, Li Xiaoyuan's conditions were not enough for him to agree to the bet. "Your plan is pretty good." Mo Qingyun smiled contemptuously. His expression turned cold as he asked, "Let me ask you, since I've already defeated you, what explanation do I need to give you for injuring your second brother?" Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Li Xiaoyuan was stunned and didn't know how to refute. Mo Qingyun's words were not false. Since Mo Qingyun had defeated him, what explanation was there to give? "Tell me, what do you want in order for you to fight me?" Although her trick was directly exposed by Mo Qingyun, Li Xiaoyuan did not give up. "My request is actually very simple. As long as the stakes you take out can satisfy me." When he heard Li Xiaoyuan's question, Mo Qingyun's expression was calm as he indifferently answered Li Xiaoyuan. Mo Qingyun thought to himself, he was currently lacking in cultivation resources, so it would be best if he could get some from Li Xiaoyuan to replenish his resources. If he wanted to purchase a flying tool, he needed to obtain a large amount of immortal spirit stones in the shortest amount of time possible. Based on the current situation, he might be able to obtain some from Li Xiaoyuan. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he began to look forward to the stakes that Li Xiaoyuan would take out. Li Xiaoyuan's eyes flickered when she heard Mo Qingyun's request. She considered how to reply to Mo Qingyun. Li Xiaoyuan pondered for a while before making a decision. He took out a black horn and said, "This is the horn of a demon blood-horned centipede. I obtained it in the inheritance of the heavenly bull. It's related to a secret of the inheritance, so I'll use it as a wager." Mo Qingyun looked curious when he heard Li Xiaoyuan's introduction. He could not help but take a few more glances at the black bull's horn. This black bull's horn was related to the heavenly bull inheritance ground. If he obtained it, it might be of some help when he entered the heavenly bull inheritance ground. You're not being sincere by using a broken bull's horn as a stake. Although he was somewhat interested in the black bull's horn, Mo Qingyun pretended to be displeased and shook his head at Li Xiaoyuan. Li Xiaoyuan's face darkened when she saw Mo Qingyun's reaction. She took out a blue ice crystal and said angrily, "This is a million-year-old galaxy ice crystal. It is the main material for setting up the Ice Galaxy Great Array. I will add it again." It is still not enough. Mo Qingyun still shook his head with an unsatisfied expression. Li Xiaoyuan's expression turned even uglier when she saw Mo Qingyun's reaction. She took out a sun-shaped stone key and said, "This stone key is related to the inheritance of a 3-star plane. This is the last thing I will add to the wager." After taking out the sun-shaped stone key, Li Xiaoyuan showed a pained expression. She looked at Mo Qingyun with a dark expression. In order to make Mo Qingyun fight with her, she had exhausted all her wealth. This price was too great. Seeing Li Xiaoyuan's attitude, Mo Qingyun knew that this was her limit. "Then let's fight." Seeing that he could not get anything else, Mo Qingyun did not say anything else and agreed to Li Xiaoyuan's wager. These three things were still very attractive to him. That sun-shaped stone key was related to the inheritance of a 3-star plane. It was a rare treasure. Wait. Seeing Mo Qingyun agree so readily, Li Xiaoyuan hesitated and interrupted Mo Qingyun's actions again. After Li Xiaoyuan stopped Mo Qingyun, he showed a cold expression and said, "Our wager is just empty words. In order to prevent everyone from regretting it, we will fight in the Heavenly Bull Array." The Heavenly Bull Array was a formation in the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect. It was specially used by disciples to settle their grudges. "I'm not afraid, but you are." Hearing Li Xiaoyuan's request, Mo Qing mocked her and said, "Since you want to fight in the Heavenly Bull Array, I will accompany you in the Heavenly Bull Array." Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Li Xiaoyuan nodded with satisfaction. She had completely let go of the worries in her heart. Inside the Heavenly Bull Array, there were sect elders to maintain fairness. Mo Qingyun would not be able to play any tricks. "Lead the way." After reaching an agreement with Li Xiaoyuan, Mo Qingyun did not want to waste time and immediately urged her. Mo Qingyun thought that since these troubles could not be avoided, why not take the initiative to attack? In this way, not only would he be able to solve the problems, but he would also be able to win some spoils of war. He was more willing to kill 2 birds with 1 stone like this. Hearing Mo Qingyun's urging, Li Xiaoyuan did not delay and directly rushed to the Heavenly Bull Array. In her opinion, if she continued to refuse, she would appear too cowardly. As Mo Qingyun and Li Xiaoyuan headed to the Heavenly Bull Array, the news of their battle spread like wildfire. Chapter 2455. As Mo Qingyun approached the Sky Bull Array, 2 huge flaming bull shadows appeared out of thin air in front of him. As soon as the 2 flaming bull shadows appeared, they dashed to the sides and created a gap in the array formation's light screen. When he saw the gap in the array formation's light screen appear, Mo Qingyun stepped into it and entered the Sky Bull Array. As soon as he entered the Sky Bull Array, Mo Qingyun saw many people sitting around the Sky Bull Array. Mo Qingyun scanned his surroundings before walking towards a high platform. This was the waiting area for the people who had gambled. As Mo Qingyun walked towards the high platform, Li Xiaoyuan also entered the Sky Bull Array and followed behind Mo Qingyun. At the moment, 2 young men were fighting in the center of the Sky Bull Array, attracting everyone's attention. These 2 young men were not weak, as they had both reached the galaxy grade. The cultivation of the young man in blue had reached the intermediate galaxy grade, so he was suppressing his opponent. Not long after, the young man in blue crushed his opponent in a domineering manner. Deni wins the gambit between Fong Hung and Deni. The elder in charge of maintaining order in the Sky Bull Array announced the results solemnly after the young man in blue won. Upon hearing this, Mo Qingyun stopped in his tracks and couldn't help but turn his head to look at the young man in blue. He hadn't expected that the young man in blue would actually be Di Chio's big brother. When Mo Qingyun looked at Deni sensed his gaze and turned his head to look at him. After looking at Mo Qingyun up and down for a while, Deni sneered and raised his head with a meaningful look. Apparently, Deni knew that Mo Qingyun had taught Di Chio a lesson. After sizing up Deni, Mo Qingyun retracted his gaze and continued walking towards the high platform. Although Deni wasn't weak, he couldn't pose a threat to Luo Yunyang. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived at the high platform, waiting for his turn to fight with Li Xiaoyuan. When Mo Qingyun arrived at the high platform, there were still 2 people standing there. Both of them had a galaxy-grade cultivation. When the 2 of them saw Mo Qingyun arrive, they were surprised and looked at Mo Qingyun with interest. After glancing at Mo Qingyun, one of them turned to Li Xiaoyuan and said coldly, "Li Xiaoyuan, you're quite fast. But even if you take the Golden Bull Pavilion, can you defend it with your strength?" Li Xiaoyuan's face turned cold when she heard this person's unfriendly words. She said, "Yang Qingyao, before you meddle in my business, you should first think about how to defeat Zhou Tong." "Li Xiaoyuan, I like what you said, haha. Zhou Teng let out a hearty laugh before revealing a mocking sneer. He turned his head to look at Yang Qingyao and said, Yang Qingyao, I advise you to surrender obediently and give me the great strength demon ox token in your hands. Otherwise, you will be at a disadvantage later on. Humph! Don't think that you can fight me just because you've broken through to the galaxy grade. Yang Qingyao snorted in displeasure when he saw Zhou Tang's arrogant attitude. His eyes turned cold. Zhou Tang was unmoved by Yang Qingyao's anger. Instead, he looked at Mo Qingyun with interest and said, Little brother, I've heard Uncle mention you before. I didn't expect you to have more guts than me. You actually dared to challenge Li Xiaoyuan, who is at the mid-stage of the galaxy grade, with your early-stage nebula grade cultivation. I admire your courage. Brother Zhou, you flatter me. You aren't any worse than me. Mo Qingyun smiled faintly in response to Zhou Tang's polite words. He had a good impression of Zhou Tang. Based on what he had just said, he was already Zhou Ping's grandnephew. If that's the case, just watch how I beat him into a pig's head. After Zhou Tang said those words, he leaped up and flew down from the high platform. Zhou Tang jumped off the high platform and flipped a few times before arriving at the center of the sky bowl array. Yang Qingyao snorted in displeasure when he saw Zhou Tang's impatient actions and jumped off the high platform as well. Yang Qingyao and Zhou Tang soon arrived at the battle area and faced each other. As they faced each other, they also took out their wagers. After taking out his wager, Zhou Tang took the initiative to attack Yang Qingyao. As soon as Zhou Tang made his move, he displayed a ferocious stance as he launched an attack. Yang Qingyao immediately fell into a passive position in the face of Zhou Tang's tyrannical attack. Mo Qingyun had a look of understanding when he saw this. He knew why Zhou Tang was so confident. It turned out that Yang Qingyao had been injured. His injuries weren't light, and some of his foundations had been damaged. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun was even more puzzled. He thought to himself, it seems like there are many secrets between the two of them. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, Yang Qingyao wouldn't fight Zhou Tang unless he had some unspeakable secret. Although Mo Qingyun was a little surprised by this discovery, he didn't pay much attention to it. This was a matter between Zhou Tang and Yang Qingyao. It had nothing to do with him. Time passed bit by bit as Zhou Tang and Luo Yunyang exchanged blows. About an hour later, Yang Qingyao was defeated by Zhou Tang due to his heavy injuries. Don't worry, since I have obtained the Demon Ox token, I will keep my promise and keep your secret. After Zhou Tang defeated Yang Qingyao, he threw down a sentence and left the battle area. Looking at Zhou Tang gradually walking away, Yang Qingyao's face was filled with unwillingness as he slowly walked out of the battle area. Mo Qingyun, Li Xiaoyuan, the two of you may enter the arena. As the battle between Zhou Tang and Yang Qingyao ended, the elder who was in charge of justice coldly instructed. Upon hearing the elder's words, Li Xiaoyuan's figure flashed as she flew directly to the battle area. When Li Xiaoyuan arrived at the battle area, she took out her wager and handed it to the elder. Elder Sun Kong, this is my wager. Please keep it safe for me. Elder Sun Kong's eyes lit up when he saw the item Li Xiaoyuan took out. His gaze fell on the sun-shaped key. To him, the inheritance of a 3-star plane was also very attractive. When Li Xiaoyuan took out her wager, Mo Qingyun also arrived at the battle area and stood in front of Sun Kong. Mo Qingyun, what is your wager? Take it out. When he saw Mo Qingyun standing in front of him, Sun Kong revealed a curious look and instructed Mo Qingyun. When he heard Sun Kong's words, Mo Qingyun didn't take out his wager. Instead, he said in a deep voice, my wager is the right to stay in the tourist pavilion. Elder, please give me a pen and paper. I will write a contract now. You want to use the right to stay in the tourist pavilion as a wager? Sun Kong's expression changed when he heard Mo Qingyun's wager. His expression immediately turned serious as he said, Mo Qingyun, do you know what will happen to you if you lose the right to stay in the tourist pavilion? Oh, what do you mean? Hearing Sun Kong's question, Mo Qingyun's expression froze, and some confusion appeared on his face. Chapter 2456. Just as Mo Qingyun was puzzled, he turned his head to look at Li Xiaoyuan, wanting her to give him an explanation. Seeing Mo Qingyun look at her, the cold smile on Li Xiaoyuan's face immediately became even more intense. Clearly, she had used Mo Qingyun's ignorance to dig a hole for Mo Qingyun. Without waiting for Li Xiaoyuan to explain, Elder Sun Kong, who was by her side, said with a solemn expression, "The sect has a rule that those who are appointed to live in the tourist pavilion will lose the right to live in the tourist pavilion and will lose the qualification to compete for the position of junior sect master." Mo Qingyun was slightly surprised when he heard Elder Sun Kong's words. He really did not know about this. However, Mo Qingyun did not take the rule of the Skybowl Mountain sect to heart. To him, the identity of a junior sect master of the Skybowl Mountain sect did not have much meaning. He had come to the Skybowl Mountain sect mainly to enter the sect so that he could gain a foothold on the Divine Wood continent. Therefore, if he became the junior sect master of the Skybowl Mountain sect, it would restrict his actions instead. Seeing that Mo Qingyun did not seem to care, Sun Kong's face turned cold as he continued. Apart from this, there's also the most important point. Those who have been appointed to stay in the tourist pavilion will lose the right to stay there. If they don't take it back within half a year, they will be punished by the sect. The lightest punishment will be 10 years of reflection, while the heaviest punishment will be having their cultivation crippled and being expelled from the sect. Mo Qingyun was finally moved when he heard Sun Kong's words. He realized the severity of the situation. If he really could not defeat Li Xiaoyuan and lost the right to stay in the tourist pavilion, the consequences would be extremely severe. It had to be said that Li Xiaoyuan's move was ruthless enough. It did not seem painful, but it was actually killing without spilling blood. Your plan is pretty good. I almost fell for it. After understanding Li Xiaoyuan's intentions, a cold smile appeared on Mo Qingyun's face as some coldness flashed in his eyes. Since Li Xiaoyuan had schemed against him like this, he could not do nothing. Li Xiaoyuan's plan was exposed, but he did not panic. He looked at Mo Qingyun with a sinister smile and provoked him. "So you're afraid now? Are you going back on your word and running away from this battle? Scared?" In response to Li Xiaoyuan's words, Mo Qingyun laughed in disdain. He shook his head and said, "Li Xiaoyuan, don't use such a low-level method on me. You think too highly of yourself if you think you can scare me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's conversation, Sun Kong was worried that Mo Qingyun would let his emotions affect his decisions. So he said, "Mo Qingyun, this old man has already told you the consequences of losing the tourist pavilion. Do you want to change your mind now?" "Thank you for your kindness, Elder. My wager remains unchanged. It's still the right to live in the tourist pavilion." Mo Qingyun didn't listen to Sun Kong's reminder. Instead, he firmly rejected the offer. After rejecting Sun Kong's kindness, Mo Qingyun looked at Li Xiaoyuan and said indifferently, "Li Xiaoyuan, I will let you know later that scheming requires strength. Before you scheme against others, you must first see if your strength is enough." Mo Qingyun directly walked towards the battle area and waited for Li Xiaoyuan to exchange blows with him. This brat is really arrogant. He has piqued my interest. Seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, Sun Kong revealed an expression of interest and smiled faintly as he muttered to himself. As an elder of the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect, he had naturally heard about Mo Qingyun. Seeing that Mo Qingyun wasn't going to change his mind, the smile on Li Xiaoyuan's face became even wider. "Mo Qingyun, I admire your courage, but you have already lost this battle." When Li Xiaoyuan arrived at the center of the battle area, a smug smile appeared on her face. It was as if her evil plan had succeeded. Mo Qingyun didn't reply to Li Xiaoyuan's words. Instead, he took the initiative to charge towards Li Xiaoyuan. When Mo Qingyun's figure moved, a terrifying flame power erupted from his body. Demonic star-splitting palm. Mo Qingyun flipped his palm, and a huge flaming palm that blotted out the sun blasted out from his palm. Seeing the power of Mo Qingyun's palm, Li Xiaoyuan was shocked. She put away the contempt in her heart and exclaimed, "So strong." As expected of someone with 7,000 Saint Power Star clusters. His combat power is indeed incomparable to ordinary people. She could already sense that the power of Mo Qingyun's palm already possessed the combat strength of a galaxy grade. Therefore, if he wanted to defeat Mo Qingyun, it would not be an easy task. Blade Soul Shadow. Li Xiaoyuan retreated as she watched the flaming palm shadow get closer and closer. She then took out a long blade. When she held the long blade, Li Xiaoyuan closed her eyes and released a shocking amount of saint power. The saint power seeped into the long blade and caused the long blade to emit a dim light. It then condensed into a blade light that was 1,000 meters long. Slash! Li Xiaoyuan opened her eyes and emitted a bright light as she slashed down with the long blade in her hand. Li Xiaoyuan waved the long blade, and a blade light that was close to 1,000 meters long blasted out to meet the flaming palm shadow in midair. Boom! When the blade light hit the palm shadow, there was a loud explosion and a dazzling light. When the dazzling light appeared, a terrifying saint power shockwave spread out in all directions. Li Xiaoyuan didn't dare take the shockwave head-on. She immediately waved her long blade to block it. Compared to Li Xiaoyuan's actions, Mo Qingyun was much more indifferent. He allowed the shockwave to hit him. From this subtle performance, it was obvious who was better between Mo Qingyun and Li Xiaoyuan. This kid's physique is really terrifying. He can actually take the shockwave head-on. Sun Kong was shocked when he saw Mo Qingyun's performance. He looked at Mo Qingyun and thought to himself, even with my advanced galaxy-grade cultivation, it would be difficult for me to take the shockwave head-on. I didn't expect him to do it. No wonder he is so confident. This kid is really extraordinary. This kid is a little difficult to deal with. It seems like it will take some effort to deal with him. Denai frowned when he saw Mo Qingyun's combat strength. He looked a little troubled. Some people beside him nodded in agreement when they heard Denai's words. Mo Qingyun's strength was already on the same level as theirs and was a threat to them. Compared to the shock of the others, the shock in Li Xiaoyuan's heart was undoubtedly stronger. The strength of this kid's body has actually reached such a level. No wonder he dared to fight me. Li Xiaoyuan was shocked when she saw Mo Qingyun's strong body. Then, her expression turned cold as she said coldly, "No matter how strong your body is, my heavenly demon blade is a quasi-galaxy-grade divine weapon. I don't believe that your body is stronger than my blade." Chapter 2457. If you're relying on the scrap metal in your hands, I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed. When Mo Qingyun rushed towards Li Xiaoyuan, he released a strong fighting spirit and mocked Li Xiaoyuan. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times and came before Li Xiaoyuan. He raised his hand and punched at Li Xiaoyuan. As Mo Qingyun punched, a terrifying flame, saint power, burst out from his body. The saint power of the flame burst out like a nimble fire dragon, circling around Mo Qingyun's body. "You're courting death." Seeing that Mo Qingyun wanted to use his physical body to fight against his heavenly demon long saber, Li Xiaoyuan smiled coldly. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's action was no different from courting death. If Mo Qingyun was hit by his saber, he would be seriously injured and the battle would end there. Scorpio Eclipse. When the heavenly demon long saber was struck by Li Xiaoyuan, a black saint power gathered on it and turned into a huge scorpion shadow. When the scorpion shadow was formed, its scorpion tail turned into a saber light and stabbed at Mo Qingyun. When the scorpion tail stabbed at Mo Qingyun, the scorpion shadow's body hit the flaming fist shadow. Bang! 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 When the two collided, a brilliant light bloomed and a loud sound exploded. After blocking the scorpion shadow, Mo Qingyun's attack did not stop and punched at the scorpion tail. Puffed. Under Mo Qingyun's punch, the scorpion tail was instantly destroyed and turned into saint power and dissipated. After defeating Li Xiaoyuan's attack, Mo Qingyun did not stop and continued to close in on Li Xiaoyuan. Since he wanted to use his physical strength to defeat Li Xiaoyuan, he had to fight in close combat. This kid's strength has reached such a level. Li Xiaoyuan's eyelids twitched as she watched Mo Qingyun's sweep through everything. A hint of panic flashed across her eyes. In a short exchange with Mo Qingyun, he was surprised to find that he was actually being suppressed by Mo Qingyun. While Li Xiaoyuan was still in shock, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of him and threw a punch at him. Roar, roar, roar. As Mo Qingyun swung his fist, the flame saint powers swimming around his body let out a thunderous roar. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's every punch was like a wolf, tiger, or leopard. In the face of Mo Qingyun's overbearing attack, Li Xiaoyuan could only hurriedly brandish her saber to block. Clang, clang, clang. When Mo Qingyun's fist landed on the heavenly evildoer, the crisp sound of metal clashing rang out from the heavenly evildoer. What shocked Li Xiaoyuan was that the heavenly evildoer was actually deformed under Mo Qingyun's bombardment. Especially at the edge of the saber, Mo Qingyun's fist had actually punched a hole in it. This indirectly showed that Mo Qingyun's fist was harder than the heavenly evildoer. His physical strength is comparable to a galaxy-level divine weapon. How is this possible? Seeing the damage to the heavenly evildoer, Li Xiaoyuan was more shocked than distressed. Mo Qingyun's current performance had truly frightened him, causing him to have some thoughts of retreating. Seeing the fear on Li Xiaoyuan's face, Mo Qingyun smirked and said, "What's wrong with you? You look absent-minded. Could it be that you didn't sleep well last night because you're going to fight me?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Li Xiaoyuan's face darkened. She shouted coldly, "Mo Qingyun, don't be arrogant. Our battle has just begun." Heavenly evildoer slash. As soon as Li Xiaoyuan said that, he quickly brandished the heavenly evildoer and slashed out streaks of dazzling blade light. When Li Xiaoyuan brandished the heavenly evildoer, he looked like an invincible blade god that gave off an invulnerable feeling. Li Xiaoyuan's strength has improved greatly after coming out of seclusion this time. Another strong opponent has appeared. It seems like an ordinary late-stage galaxy-grade powerhouse is no longer a match for her. Even I have to temporarily avoid such a move. I wonder how Mo Qingyun will deal with it. He will naturally retreat temporarily and use his strong physique to slowly contend with Li Xiaoyuan. Denai and the others' expressions changed when they saw Li Xiaoyuan's combat strength. They started to analyze the situation. While Denai and the others are astonished, Sun Kong, who is sitting on one side, has a shocked expression. He says with emotion, "Every generation brings forth new talents. The new generation replaces the old. This Li Xiaoyuan's strength is no weaker than mine. Her aura is not bad. Unfortunately, her strength is not enough." Upon seeing the power of Li Xiaoyuan's supernormal ability, Mo Qingyun shook his head regretfully and said, "This move might work on other people, but it is just a trick for me." Dragon Source Tyrant Body. Mo Qingyun shouted coldly and pushed his physical strength to the extreme, forming a thunderbolt domain outside his body. When this thunderbolt domain appeared, it blocked the approaching blade light and weakened the power of the blade light. Thanks to the weakening of the thunderbolt domain, the blade light that hit Mo Qingyun's body no longer had any power. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the surrounding people were shocked and their eyes widened. This kid actually held back his strength. How terrifying! Won't Li Xiaoyuan be defeated this way? He has just entered the sect, yet his strength has already reached the level of a first-line elite disciple. How amazing! No wonder the sect master thinks highly of him and appointed him to stay in the Taurus Pavilion. Upon seeing Mo Qingyun's performance, the crowd's reverence for him immediately became much stronger. Compared to the shock of the ordinary disciples, the faces of Denai and the others immediately became gloomy. In their eyes, Mo Qingyun's strength was already a great threat to them. Under everyone's shocked gaze, Mo Qingyun's figure moved, turning into a long rainbow and flying out. "Open for me." Facing the overbearing blade light bombardment, Mo Qingyun was not afraid at all. He crazily punched and attacked. In the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun had punched hundreds of times, bombarding the blade light that was approaching him. Bang, bang, bang. Under the bombardment of Mo Qingyun's fists, all the blade light that was blocking his way exploded. As Mo Qingyun continuously bombarded the blade light, the distance between him and Li Xiaoyuan was constantly shrinking. Seeing Mo Qingyun getting closer and closer, Li Xiaoyuan's face turned pale, and the panic in his heart could no longer be concealed. As the panic in his heart increased, Li Xiaoyuan's mind gradually became disordered, and his fighting spirit began to weaken rapidly. As a result, his attacks were obviously weakened, and he could no longer pose a threat to Mo Qingyun. You've exhausted all your tricks. Our battle should end now. After destroying all the blade light, Mo Qingyun came to the front of Li Xiaoyuan and punched him. After Mo Qingyun's punch was thrown, a fist as fierce as a lion's flew towards Li Xiaoyuan. Facing Mo Qingyun's punch, Li Xiaoyuan did not even have time to react before he was hit by the giant flaming fist. Then, Li Xiaoyuan flew backward, spitting out a mouthful of blood. Chapter 2458. Li Xiaoyuan was actually defeated so thoroughly. This is really surprising. Mo Qingyun defeated Li Xiaoyuan in a crushing manner. I'm afraid he will become famous after this battle. I originally thought that Feng Han was the most talented disciple among this batch of disciples. Who would have thought that Mo Qingyun would appear? This kid is too arrogant. I have to find an opportunity to suppress him. Everyone had mixed feelings when they saw Mo Qingyun defeat Li Xiaoyuan in a domineering manner. Compared to the shock of the others, Sun Kong lamented, "It seems that I am indeed getting old. Young people these days are really monstrous." Under everyone's shocked gazes, Mo Qingyun put his hands behind his back and looked down at Li Xiaoyuan like a king. He asked, "Do you want to continue the battle? If you surrender, I will take the spoils in return." Li Xiaoyuan had a pained expression on her face when she heard Mo Qingyun's question. She stood up with difficulty and said unwillingly, "Mo Qingyun, don't be too complacent. I didn't lose to you because I wasn't strong enough, but because I lacked a powerful weapon." It seemed like Li Xiaoyuan believed that if he had a galaxy-grade weapon, the outcome would have been completely different. "You are welcome to challenge me at any time. Just remember to bring the stakes." In response to Li Xiaoyuan's unwillingness, Mo Qingyun said this before flying over to Sun Kong. When he saw Mo Qingyun fly over, Sun Kong announced the outcome of the battle and handed the spoils to Mo Qingyun. "I will take my leave now." After taking the spoils from Sun Kong, Mo Qingyun turned around and left. Just as Mo Qingyun was about to leave, a mid-level galaxy-grade martialist suddenly shouted at him, "Mo Qingyun, wait a moment. I want to challenge you." When Mo Qingyun heard the latter's words, he stopped in his tracks and looked at him with interest. He had not expected that someone would challenge him so quickly. This was an unexpected gain. If the stakes offered by the other party satisfied him, he might as well accept the challenge. In any case, the reason he fought with others was to win more resources so that it would be easier for him to cultivate in the future. "Take out your wager. If I'm satisfied, I'll accept your challenge." After sizing up the other party, Mo Qingyun did not beat around the bush and went straight to the point. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the martialist froze, as he was surprised by Mo Qingyun's request. He had only wanted to challenge Mo Qingyun, so he had not prepared any stakes. There is no need for a bet between fellow disciples. "Are you afraid?" That person hesitated for a moment before mocking Mo Qingyun, wanted to provoke Mo Qingyun into fighting him. "Don't try to goad me into a fight. It will only reveal your stupidity." After understanding that person's thoughts, Mo Qingyun lost interest. He ridiculed him and said, "If you want to fight with me, then come back after you've gathered enough money. If you can't even gather enough money, then don't come out and embarrass yourself." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he ignored the martialist and turned to walk out of the heavenly bull array. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, the surrounding people were shocked and began to whisper to each other, "This Mo Qingyun is so arrogant. He dares to humiliate Lu Yuanjie like that. You have Mo Qingyun's strength. You can also humiliate Lu Yuanjie like that. But Mo Qingyun's actions are too obvious. This is not a good thing for him. While the surrounding people were in awe of Mo Qingyun, they were also worried about Mo Qingyun. Seeing the people around him pointing fingers at him, Lu Yuanjie's face turned ugly. He felt a strong sense of humiliation. Mo Qingyun, I was wondering how capable you were. It turns out that you're just a cowardly rat. Lu Yuanjie's face was full of mockery as he insulted Mo Qingyun. He wanted to force Mo Qingyun to challenge him. Seeing Lu Yuanjie's provocation, Mo Qingyun stopped again. Coldness flashed in his eyes. He said, "Since you want to challenge me so much, I will give you a chance. Now, I want to challenge you to a life and death battle. If you don't dare to accept, then shut up." A life and death battle. Mo Qingyun wanted to have a life and death battle with Lu Yuanjie. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the surrounding people were shocked. Mo Qingyun's actions were too crazy. One had to admit that Mo Qingyun's move was very effective. It directly cut off Lu Yuanjie's path of retreat. If Lu Yuanjie did not dare to accept the challenge, he would lose all his face. He would never have the face to see anyone again. "Fine, I will challenge you." Lu Yuanjie was furious. He chose to challenge Mo Qingyun. His eyes flashed with coldness. Seeing Lu Yuanjie's action, Mo Qingyun sneered. He was very satisfied with Lu Yuanjie's performance. To avoid such meaningless challenges, he needed to make an example out of Lu Yuanjie. He needed to let some people know the consequences of challenging him. Seeing that Lu Yuanjie had accepted the challenge, Mo Qingyun walked toward Sun Kong and said, "Senior, please uphold justice for us and issue us a letter of challenge to a battle to the death. You two brats, you have to think carefully. Once a life and death battle contract is given, there is no going back." Hearing Mo Qingyun's request, Sun Kong's expression turned serious. He looked at Mo Qingyun in shock. He did not expect Mo Qingyun's actions to be so crazy. He actually wanted to have a life and death battle with Lu Yuanjie. "I have thought it through. Senior, please do it." In response to Sun Kong's question, Mo Qingyun looked serious and nodded at Sun Kong. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Lu Yuanjie hesitated for a moment. He gritted his teeth and said, "I have also thought it through. I am willing to give you a life and death battle contract." Sigh. Seeing Mo Qingyun and Lu Yuanjie's firm attitude, Sun Kong could not help but sigh. He gave the two of them a life and death battle contract. As an elder of the Skybowl Mountains sect, he naturally did not want to see the younger generation of the sect kill each other. However, he also knew very well that the rise of every powerhouse would trample on countless corpses. This kind of thing was inevitable. After a short while, a document that shone with a bloody light appeared in front of Mo Qingyun and Lu Yuanjie. "The life and death battle contract has been formed. The two of you can drip your blood on it and complete the life and death battle contract." Seeing the bloody document appear, Sun Kong's expression turned solemn. He urged Mo Qingyun and Lu Yuanjie. Hearing Sun Kong's words, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate to cut his finger and drip a drop of blood on the life and death battle contract. As Mo Qingyun's blood dripped down, the life and death battle contract flashed with a bloody light. A small blood-red sword flew out from it. The small blood-red sword flew out and landed in Mo Qingyun's hand. It emitted a mysterious power. At the same time, Lu Yuanjie also dripped a drop of blood on the life and death battle contract. Immediately after, a small blood-red sword flew out of the life and death battle contract and landed in Lu Yuanjie's hand. Chapter 2459. When they saw that Mo Qingyun was about to fight to the death, the Sky Bull array fell silent. No one dared to make a sound. The battle between Mo Qingyun and Lu Yuanjie was different from before. The price to pay for this battle was too high. Who do you think will emerge victorious between Mo Qingyun and Lu Yuanjie? Mo Qingyun just fought an intense battle, so he is no longer in peak condition. Lu Yuanjie has a higher chance of winning. I don't think so. Instead, I think that Lu Yuanjie's odds are stacked against him. Looking at the two people in the fighting area, everyone whispered to each other and expressed their different opinions. Mo Qingyun, you're courting death. You will soon know the price of being arrogant. When he saw Mo Qingyun and Lu Yuanjie fighting to the death, Li Xian's expression turned gloomy as he spoke furiously. Originally, he thought that if Li Xiaoyuan made a move to deal with Mo Qingyun, it would definitely be a cinch. He had never expected that Mo Qingyun would be so strong that even Li Xiaoyuan wouldn't be a match for him. Di Qiu, who was standing beside Li Xian, also had a cold expression on his face as he said, Lu Yuanjie's strength is comparable to Big Brother's. He is already comparable to a peak galaxy-grade powerhouse. Mo Qingyun actually dared to fight him to the death. He really brought this upon himself. Mo Qingyun remained indifferent as everyone watched him nervously. You can make the first move. Otherwise, you won't even have a chance to retaliate after I make my move. Lu Yuanjie was so angry that his body started to tremble when he heard Mo Qingyun's words that he started to tremble. Mo Qingyun was really looking down on others. Even Di Nai and the others wouldn't have dared to say such a thing when they fought against him. Since you are courting death, I will fulfill your wish. Lu Yuanjie shouted angrily as he made the first move and rushed towards Mo Qingyun. As Lu Yuanjie rushed towards Mo Qingyun, he quickly formed a handprint and pointed it at his forehead. Following that, the handprint expanded rapidly and turned into the shadow of a golden ox. Roar! A deafening cry came from the mouth of the golden bull shadow. Then, the golden ox shadow emitted a golden light and merged into Lu Yuanjie's body. In just a short while, Lu Yuanjie had grown to a height of several dozen feet, turning into a giant the size of a small mountain. Mad bull charge! Lu Yuanjie clenched his fists and punched towards Mo Qingyun with a terrifying aura. As Lu Yuanjie swung his fists, a terrifying golden saint power quickly gathered on his fists. Facing Lu Yuanjie's attack, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately retreated. Although he could withstand Lu Yuanjie's punch, he did not want to do so. This was because he realized that Lu Yuanjie's double fist attack was actually just a feint. Even if he took the attack head-on, it wouldn't be of much use. He wouldn't be able to neutralize Lu Yuanjie's true attack. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times, and he pulled away from Lu Yuanjie, avoiding Lu Yuanjie's fists. Bang! As Mo Qingyun dodged, Lu Yuanjie's fists landed on the ground and exploded with a deafening sound. As the deafening sound rang out, the aura of the bull shadows surged out from Lu Yuanjie's fists. When the golden ox shadows appeared, they charged towards Mo Qingyun and caught up with Mo Qingyun in the blink of an eye. Facing the attack of the golden ox shadows, Mo Qingyun was not afraid at all. He said to himself calmly, his double fist attack is just a feint to confuse the enemy. These golden ox shadows are the real killer move. Dragon Source Overlord Body. Seeing the golden ox shadows getting closer and closer, Mo Qingyun stopped dodging and took the initiative to meet the golden ox shadows head-on. The Dragon Source Overlord Body was activated, and a terrifying thunderbolt territory formed outside of Mo Qingyun's body. Bang, bang, bang. As the thunderbolt territory formed, the golden ox shadows crashed into it, creating deafening sounds. Because there were too many golden ox shadows and their attacks were too violent, the thunderbolt territory could not stop them. After breaking through the obstruction of the thunder domain, the golden ox shadow's attack didn't slow down. It continued to charge towards Mo Qingyun. Break for me! Seeing the golden ox shadows break through the thunderbolt territory and arrive in front of him, Mo Qingyun immediately swung his fists to meet the attack. As Mo Qingyun swung his fists and attacked, the golden bull shadows that were charging at him were crushed one by one. After destroying the golden ox shadows, Mo Qingyun's attacks did not slow down, and he began to counterattack Lu Yuanjie. Seeing Mo Qingyun charging towards him, Lu Yuanjie immediately jumped and arrived above Mo Qingyun. Mad Ox Falling Sky. When he arrived above Mo Qingyun, Lu Yunji's body glowed with a golden light, like a huge meteorite. Then, Lu Yunji's body fell and smashed towards Mo Qingyun. Facing Lu Yunji's attack, Mo Qingyun immediately took a step back and dodged Lu Yunji's direct attack. Boom! As Lu Yunji's body fell, the ground immediately caved in, creating an earth-shattering sound. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that when the ground caved in, there was a terrifying suction force. Under this suction force, Mo Qingyun felt that his body was about to be sucked into the ground. Demonic ox sweeping slash. Seeing Mo Qingyun getting closer and closer, Lu Yunjie clasped his hands together and formed a huge fist. Then, Lu Yunjie turned his body and swept towards Mo Qingyun like a fiery wheel. I can't dodge it. Seeing Lu Yunjie's move, Mo Qingyun's expression tensed up and a cold look appeared on his face. He said, "Since I can't dodge it, let's fight head-on. Dragon Source Overlord Body. Bloodline Oppression. Holy Glory Superpower Ignite." In the face of Lu Yunjie's overbearing attack, Mo Qingyun once again revealed some of his trump cards to increase his strength. A terrifying wave of flames and bloodline power erupted from Mo Qingyun's body. Bang, bang, bang. Under the attack of the Holy Glory Superpower, balls of flames appeared on Lu Yunjie's huge body. Under the burning of these flames, Lu Yunjie's body immediately trembled, and he looked like he was in pain. Before Lu Yunjie could suppress the pain on his body, a terrifying bloodline power came crashing down on him. He was shocked to find that under this bloodline power, the blood in his body began to flow in the opposite direction. Puff! As his blood began to flow in the opposite direction, Lu Yunjie's blood became chaotic. He couldn't help but vomit blood. Then the aura that Lu Yunjie exuded weakened a lot. Not only that, but the power of Lu Yunjie's superpower was also greatly weakened. Seeing this, Lu Yunjie's face was filled with shock, and he looked at Mo Qingyun in fear. He didn't expect Mo Qingyun to have such a trump card. This was beyond his expectations. The current situation was not looking good for him. Chapter 2460. Saint Demon's Star Shattering Fist. Mo Qingyun clenched his right fist and took the initiative to meet Lu Yunjie's fist. When the two fists collided, there was a loud bang and a terrifying shockwave of Saint Force. When the shockwave of Saint Force appeared, Lu Yunjie's body flew out and landed heavily on the ground. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. They felt that it was a little unreal. Lu Yunjie, who had the upper hand, was sent flying by Mo Qingyun's punch in the blink of an eye. One punch. Mo Qingyun only used one punch, and he sent Lu Yunjie flying. It's too scary. Is this his true strength? Is he really a new disciple? Lu Yunjie must have been careless. That's why Mo Qingyun was lucky enough to counterattack. Impossible, they were fighting head-on just now. Mo Qingyun didn't use any tricks. Seeing Lu Yunjie flying out, everyone was shocked and saw Mo Qingyun in a new light. They now realized that they had underestimated Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun's strength was much stronger than they had imagined. While everyone was still in shock, Lu Yunjie stood up with great difficulty and looked at Mo Qingyun with a shocked expression. At this moment, Lu Yunjie had returned to his original state, his arms drooping down weakly. From the looks of it, his arms were already crippled by Mo Qingyun's punch. Seeing Lu Yunjie's miserable state, the surrounding people's expressions immediately became heavier. Mo Qingyun's attack was too ruthless, directly crippling Lu Yunjie's arms without any room for negotiation. It seems that you can't fight anymore. The battle should be over. Looking at Lu Yunjie's drooping arms, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold, and he rushed towards Lu Yunjie. Mo Qingyun's figure flashed a few times, and he was in front of Lu Yunjie, throwing a punch at him. Mo Qingyun's punches were extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he had thrown out dozens of punches, and they all landed on Lu Yunjie's body. At this moment, Lu Yunjie, whose arms had been crippled, had become Mo Qingyun's punching bag. Seeing such a scene, Some people couldn't help but close their eyes, not wanting to see Lu Yuanjie being beaten up. Mo Qingyun, that's enough. Are you really going to kill Lu Yuanjie? Seeing that Lu Yuanjie couldn't resist Mo Qingyun's attack at all, Dinai asks discontentedly. Hearing Dinai's question, Mo Qingyun stops attacking. He turns around and looks at Dinai, saying, Lu Yuanjie and I have signed a duel to the death. Of course we won't stop until one of us dies. Aren't you asking nonsense? After saying so, Mo Qingyun ignores Dinai and continues to attack Lu Yuanjie. Seeing Mo Qingyun's attitude, Dinai's face becomes even more unsightly. He immediately reproaches Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun, even though you've signed a duel to the death, you're still fellow disciples of the same school. Why do you have to fight to the death? Dinai, everybody understands. Don't say such hypocritical words. Seeing Dinai reproach him again and again, Mo Qingyun retorts unhappily. He then says, if you can't stand it, you can come in and fight me. Whether you can save Lu Yuanjie from my hands or not will depend on whether you have the ability or not. Seeing Mo Qingyun's overbearing attitude, Dinai's eyelids twitch and his face darkens. Perhaps because he is afraid of Mo Qingyun's power, Dinai doesn't join the fight, even though he is displeased. Seeing that Dinai no longer interrupts, Mo Qingyun ignores him and continues to attack Lu Yuanjie. In order to prevent others from interfering, Mo Qingyun attacks again. His attacks are obviously more ruthless. Faced with Mo Qingyun's ruthless attacks, Lu Yuanjie's injuries immediately worsen. With a terrified expression, he says, Mo Qingyun, we're fellow disciples of the same school. You can't kill me. If you kill me, you'll be killing fellow disciples of the same school. You'll be punished according to the school rules. At this moment, Lu Yuanjie finally panics. He wants to use this to intimidate Mo Qingyun. Unfortunately, Mo Qingyun doesn't buy it at all. He doesn't take his words to heart at all. Without waiting for Lu Yuanjie to finish speaking, Mo Qingyun sends out a palm strike, fiercely hitting the top of Lu Yuanjie's head. Pooh! After being hit by Mo Qingyun's palm strike, Lu Yuanjie's eyes widen. With an unwilling expression, he falls to the ground and dies. After killing Lu Yuanjie with one palm strike, Mo Qingyun doesn't leave immediately. Instead, he raises his head and looks around. He shouts, who else wants to challenge me? Step forward now. Faced with Mo Qingyun's gaze, the surrounding people all lower their heads. They are afraid that Mo Qingyun will provoke them. Seeing everyone's reaction, Mo Qingyun curls his lips disdainfully. He then looks at Dinai and asks, Dinai, you seem to be very dissatisfied with me. Why don't you come out and fight me? You humph. Hearing Mo Qingyun's provocation, Dinai immediately becomes furious. His face is filled with fury. However, taking Mo Qingyun's strength into consideration, Dinai gives a cold snort and turns him around. After Dinai's action, some people's gazes on him change greatly. In their eyes, Dinai is afraid of Mo Qingyun. Since no one is coming out to challenge me, I'll leave now. Seeing that no one is speaking, Mo Qingyun drops these words and turns around to leave. After a while, when Mo Qingyun leaves the heavenly bull formation, everyone takes a deep breath. Just now, under Mo Qingyun's imposing manner, they all felt an enormous pressure that made it hard for them to breathe. This guy is ruthless. Looks like I'll have to avoid provoking him in the future. Looking at Lu Yuanjie's dead body on the ground, Li Xiaoyuan shows an expression of lingering fear. He has made a clear decision. He has realized that Mo Qingyun is not someone to be trifled with. At least, he is not someone he can afford to provoke. After seeing Mo Qingyun's power, Li Xiaoyuan shows an indifferent expression. He warns Li Xian, you listen to me. Don't provoke Mo Qingyun in the future. Otherwise, don't blame me for ignoring our blood ties in your life. Yes, yes. Hearing Li Xiaoyuan's warning, Li Xian immediately nods in response. He understands Li Xiaoyuan's meaning. Now that Lu Yuanjie has been killed, even if Li Xiaoyuan does not warn him, he will not dare to provoke Mo Qingyun again. He knows very well that since Mo Qingyun dared to kill Lu Yuanjie, he will also dare to kill the two of them. Mo Qingyun is really good. Today, he has become famous in one battle. From now on, his fierce name will spread far and wide in the sect. Seeing Mo Qingyun leave the heavenly bull formation, Zhou Tong shows an expression of admiration. He cannot help but sigh with emotion. Unlike Zhou Tong and Li Xiaoyuan, Denai sees Mo Qingyun's performance and his face becomes increasingly gloomy and cold. He thinks to himself, that brat is too powerful. It's too difficult for me to get rid of him in a head-on confrontation in the school. I have to make him leave the school. Chapter 2461. A short while later, in the tourist pavilion, Mo Qingyun had returned directly after leaving the Sky Bull array. When he arrived at the entrance of the tourist pavilion, Mo Qingyun stopped in his tracks without any expression on his face. Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment before taking out a wooden board and starting to carve some words on it. Before long, a row of words was carved on the board. The contents were roughly as follows. I welcome anyone to challenge me at any time, but I will only accept two types of challenges. The first type is a wager. Before you challenge me, prepare the wager. The second type is a battle to the death. After sizing up the wooden board, Mo Qingyun placed it in front of the door to inform those who wanted to challenge him. I hope they won't be too scared to challenge me because of Lu Yuanjie. After placing the wooden board in front of the door, Mo Qingyun had an expectant look on his face as he thought to himself. In his opinion, if he scared those people, he would suffer a great loss. When Mo Qingyun returned to the tourist pavilion, he saw Shi Wei and the other two instructing the servants to tidy up the mansion. Under the instructions of Shi Wei and the other two, the servants were cleaning and tidying up the courtyard in an orderly manner. When he saw this scene, Mo Qingyun nodded his head in satisfaction. It seemed like appointing Shi Wei and the other two was the right choice. When he saw that things were on the right track, Mo Qingyun didn't continue to observe. He lifted his feet and returned to his room. When Mo Qingyun returned to his room, he took out his spoils of war and studied them carefully. The first thing that Mo Qingyun picked up was the devil blood ox horn that was related to the Sky Bull inheritance. This was something that could be used in the short term. Once the Sky Bull inheritance opened and he entered the land of inheritance, he would be able to use this devil blood ox horn. When he held the devil blood ox horn in his hand, it emitted a powerful blood aura that corroded Mo Qingyun's blood. When he sensed the corrosion of the blood aura, Mo Qingyun immediately used his bloodline power to suppress it. What a powerful blood energy. If it weren't for the fact that my bloodline is strong enough, I would have been infected by it. Mo Qingyun was startled when he sensed the overbearing invasion of the bloody aura. Then he rejoiced. The bloody aura of this demonic blood ox horn is so strong. It seems like its original body was at least a celestial domain grade when it was alive. With this discovery, Mo Qingyun had great expectations for the secret realms related to the devil blood bullhorns. What I need to do next is to obtain the right to inherit the heavenly bull. After Mo Qingyun put away the demon blood ox horn, he thought for a while and had a clear goal. After putting away the devil blood bull horn, Mo Qingyun picked up the galaxy ice crystal and carefully examined it. As expected of a million-year-old Milky Way ice crystal, the Milky Way power contained in it is comparable to the power contained in 10 billion medicinal crystals. Mo Qingyun released a wisp of soul power to sense the Milky Way ice crystal. Then he sighed with joy. The value of this million-year-old Milky Way ice crystal was immeasurable. It was comparable to his entire fortune. This is a continent in a 2-star system, after all. Even a younger generation of a 1-star power can't compare to me in terms of foundation. After understanding the value of the galaxy ice crystal, Mo Qingyun became even more aware of the disparity between him and Li Xiaoyuan and the others. After realizing that his foundation was insufficient, Mo Qingyun became even more eager to head to a higher plane. Ling Long is cultivating in the mysterious sky sacred tribe, so the cultivation resources there must be even more abundant. I have to cultivate even harder. Otherwise, I will be left far behind by her. With this thought in mind, Mo Qingyun put away the galaxy ice crystal and looked at the sun-shaped stone key. When he held the stone key in his hand, an astonishing flaming power emanated from it. What a familiar feeling! Mo Qingyun was stunned when he sensed the flaming power within the stone key. His curiosity about the sunstone key increased. Then, Mo Qingyun became even more serious as he examined the sunstone key. If my guess is correct, the flaming power within the sunstone key should be of the same origin as my sun flames. After making this discovery, Mo Qingyun revealed a look of anticipation. He couldn't help but think to himself, the Sun Nine Temple's nebula technique that I cultivate will soon reach its limit. If I can obtain a stronger flaming cultivation technique from the Sunstone Key's secret realm, it should be a good result. With this thought, Mo Qingyun put away the Sunstone Key and began a plan in his mind. While Mo Qingyun was planning in his mind, he revealed a satisfied smile. He had gained a lot from this battle. While Mo Qingyun was looking at his spoils, news of him had also spread in the Skybowl Mountain sect. At this moment, in Zhou Ping's courtyard, a young man had a respectful expression as he reported to an old man about Mo Qingyun. This young man was Zhou Ping's grandnephew, Zhou Tong. What? Mo Qingyun killed Lu Yuanjie? After listening to Zhou Tong's report, Zhou Ping's eyes widened. He was shocked. Then, Zhou Ping stood up with an anxious expression and said, Mo Qingyun is in trouble this time. I have to find the sect master immediately and think of a way to resolve this matter. Seeing Zhou Ping's anxious expression, Zhou Tong showed a puzzled expression and asked, Uncle, although Lu Yuanjie is talented, and Mo Qingyun killed him, the consequences shouldn't be so serious, right? You don't know. Hearing Zhou Tang's puzzled words, Zhou Ping frowned and shook his head. He said in a deep voice, Lu Yuanjie's background is very powerful. He is the descendant of an old friend of the Great Elder. It is said that he came from the Divine Wood continent and cultivated in our sect to train his mind. If the Great Elder knows about this, he'll be furious. So there is such a secret. After hearing Zhou Ping's words, Zhou Tong's expression turned serious. He knew the seriousness of the matter. The forces on the Divine Wood continent, even if they were second-rate, were not comparable to the Skybowl sect. Thinking of this, Zhou Tong felt worried for Mo Qingyun. He secretly said, Mo Qingyun, you are in big trouble this time. I hope you can get through it. Okay, I will go find a sect master now. You go tell Mo Qingyun not to wander around. After explaining to Zhou Tong, Zhou Ping left his residence with an anxious look on his face. Hearing Zhou Ping's words, Zhou Tong did not stay and immediately went to find Mo Qingyun. As long as Mo Qingyun stayed in the tourist pavilion, even the Great Elder would not be able to deal with him. Half an hour later, Zhou Ting anxiously arrived at the entrance of the tourist pavilion. When Zhou Tong arrived, the entrance of the tourist pavilion was filled with people, blocking the entrance. Seeing this scene, Zhou Tong immediately had a headache. He thought to himself, Mo Qingyun really knows how to cause trouble. He's not willing to stop for even a moment. Zhou Tong sighed in his heart as he pushed through the crowd and came to the entrance of the pavilion. Chapter 2462. I welcome everyone to challenge me at any time. I only accept two kinds of challenges. The first is a betting battle. Before you challenge me, prepare your wager. The second is a life and death battle. Be prepared to be killed. This guy is really... Looking at the words on the wooden board, Zhou Tong was speechless. He didn't know how to express his feelings. He had met many arrogant people in the Skybowl Mountain sect, but he had never met someone like Mo Qingyun. After calming himself down, Zhou Tong didn't waste any more time and walked directly into the tourist pavilion. Seeing Zhou Tong's action, the surrounding people all moved aside. They were all excited. In their opinion, Zhou Tong's action might be to challenge Mo Qingyun. Under everyone's gaze, Zhou Tong arrived at the entrance of the tourist pavilion and was stopped by the servants. "Sir, are you here to challenge the master? He is currently cultivating and can't receive guests." After blocking Zhou Tang's path, the servants explained to Zhou Tong respectfully, "If you want to challenge the master, please tell us your identity and the method of challenge. We will pass on your message to the master." After hearing the words of the guards, Zhou Tong was even more speechless. He was even more impressed with Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun's way of doing things wasn't something an ordinary person could do. "I have an urgent matter to discuss with junior brother, Mo. Get out of my way immediately." Zhou Tong ignored the guard's obstruction and directly rushed into the tourist pavilion. Seeing Zhou Tong's action, the guards immediately panicked. They hurriedly said, "My lord, please don't make things difficult for us. If master knows that someone has barged into the residence, he will definitely punish us." Although the guards begged, Zhou Tong was indifferent. He shouted into the courtyard, "Junior brother Mo, Zhou Tong has an important matter to discuss with you. Please come out." "Zhou Tong wants to see me?" Hearing Zhou Tong's words, Mo Qingyun, who was sitting in the room, revealed a curious expression. After pondering for a moment, Mo Qingyun walked into the room to see Zhou Tong. Zhou Tong's identity was a little special. He was Zhou Ping's grandnephew. For Zhou Ping's sake, he couldn't avoid meeting him. When Mo Qingyun walked out of the room, he saw Zhou Ping standing in the middle of the courtyard. He greeted, "Senior brother Zhou Tong, please take a seat. I wonder what important matter you have to discuss with me?" "Junior apprentice brother Mo, this matter is of great importance. Can we speak in private?" Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's question, Zhou Tong's expression turned solemn as he gave Mo Qingyun a hint. At Zhou Tong's request, Mo Qingyun's expression tightened as he realized that something was wrong. It would appear that the reason why Zhou Tong came to find me so urgently should be related to Elder Zhou Ping. When Mo Qingyun thought of this, he no longer hesitated and immediately left with Zhou Tong. Soon, under Mo Qingyun's lead, the two of them entered a secret room. "Senior apprentice brother Zhou Tong, there is no one else here. Tell me why you are looking for me." After bringing Zhou Tong into the secret room, Mo Qingyun went straight to the point. He wanted to know why Zhou Tong was looking for him. Upon hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Tong didn't beat around the bush. With a nervous expression, he said, "Junior apprentice brother Mo, you are in big trouble." "Oh." Seeing Zhou Tong's reaction, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He was even more curious. Looking at Zhou Tong's expression, it didn't seem like he was joking. "Senior apprentice brother Zhou Tong, please enlighten me." With a curious expression, Mo Qingyun immediately asked Zhou Tong. He wanted to know what kind of trouble he had gotten himself into. Under Mo Qingyun's questioning, Zhou Tong calmed down and said, "Lu Yuanjia, who you killed previously, not only was he an elite disciple, but he also had an even bigger background. Not only was he the descendant of an old friend of the Great Elder, but he was also from the Divine Wood Continent." From the Divine Wood Continent? Hearing Zhou Tong's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. A look of surprise appeared on his face. This situation was somewhat out of his expectations, and he did not expect it at all. However, to Mo Qingyun, this was merely a slight surprise. After suppressing his surprise, Mo Qingyun put on a curious expression and said, "Senior apprentice brother Zhou Tong, tell me more about the Great Elder's strength and the power that Lu Yuanjia belonged to." Zhou Tong didn't think too much about Mo Qingyun's question. Instead, he answered truthfully, "The Great Elder is currently at the peak galaxy grade and is currently in seclusion to break through to the celestial domain grade. As for the power that Lu Yuanjia belonged to, I don't know much about it. However, I believe that uncle would know something about it." Peak galaxy grade. Mo Qingyun's worries lessened a lot after learning about the Great Elder's cultivation base. As long as it wasn't a celestial domain grade cultivation base, it wouldn't be much of a threat to him. As for the power behind Lu Yuanjia, it wouldn't be able to do anything to him for the time being. By the time the other party came to the Heavenly Bull Continent to avenge Lu Yuanjia, Luo Yunyang would have already fled to the Divine Wood Continent. More importantly, if he gained something from the Heavenly Bull inheritance, his strength would soar. When that happened, it wouldn't be impossible for him to contend with the power that Lu Yuanjie belonged to. Thank you for telling me, Senior Apprentice Brother Zhou Tong. I know what to do now. After learning about his situation, Emo Qingyun's worries disappeared, and he cupped his hands gratefully in Zhou Tong's direction. Upon seeing Emo Qingyun's calm expression, Zhou Tong couldn't help but admire him. He knew that he wouldn't be able to be as calm as Emo Qingyun in such a situation. Junior Apprentice Brother, you are too kind. Zhou Tong waved his hands in response to Emo Qingyun's feelings. Furthermore, Uncle wants me to tell you that you shouldn't leave the Golden Bull Pavilion for the time being. As long as you are in the Golden Bull Pavilion, even if the Great Elder comes out of seclusion, he won't be able to do anything to you. Got it. Emo Qingyun nodded and took note of Zhou Tong's words. However, it would be impossible for him to hide in his shell like a tortoise and not go out. After chatting with Emo Qingyun for a while, Zhou Tong didn't want to stay any longer. He got up and bid farewell to Emo Qingyun. I've already delivered the message. I won't stay any longer. Goodbye. Zhou Tong bade farewell and walked out of the secret chamber to report back to Zhou Ping. I'll see you out. Upon seeing that Zhou Tong was about to leave, Emo Qingyun hurriedly got up to send him off. They walked out of the secret chamber together. Not long after, Zhou Tong left the Golden Bull Pavilion under Emo Qingyun's escort. Looks like I have to hurry up and buy a mode of transportation. After sending Zhou Tong off, Emo Qingyun's brows furrowed tightly as he made plans in his heart. He didn't mind having a few more enemies. After all, there was no need to worry about having too many debts. His purpose for coming to the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect was to buy a mode of transportation. This matter couldn't be delayed. Chapter 2463. In Iron Rhino's small courtyard. After Zhou Ping left his residence, he hurriedly rushed over to report the matter of Lu Yuanjie being killed. Looking at the anxious Zhou Ping, Iron Rhino revealed a curious look and asked, Elder Zhou Ping, you came to find me in a hurry. Is there something urgent? With his understanding of Zhou Ping rarely had any guts. It seemed that he had indeed encountered trouble. Indeed, something big has happened. I need you to come forward and resolve it. Under Iron Rhinoceros's questioning, Zhou Ping did not dare to conceal anything. With a solemn expression, he said, Sect Master, Emo Qingyun had a death match with Lu Yuanjie in the Heavenly Bull formation and made a move to kill Lu Yuanjie. What? Emo Qingyun killed Lu Yuanjie? Even with Iron Rhino's mental state, hearing this news also gave him quite a fright. He was clearer than anyone about Lu Yuanjie's background. He was actually killed by Emo Qingyun. This was indeed a big matter. Emo Qingyun had caused a big mess. After saying this shocking sentence, Iron Rhino's brows knitted tightly. He immediately asked Zhou Ping, Does Head Elder know about this matter? Where is Emo Qingyun now? Head Elder hasn't come out of seclusion for the time being. He shouldn't know about this matter yet. Under Iron Rhino's continued questioning, Zhou Ping truthfully reported the current situation and said, As for Emo Qingyun's side, I've already instructed Zhou Tong to pass a message to Mo Qingyun. Don't leave the Golden Bull Pavilion for the time being. That's good then. Hearing Zhou Ping's answer, Iron Rhino's expression relaxed. His hanging heart was slightly relieved. As long as Emo Qingyun was still alive, the situation was not too bad. There was still some room to turn things around. Although Lu Yi's death would make Head Elder furious and dissatisfied, this was not the most important thing. More importantly, he had already reported Emo Qingyun's matter to the Heavenly Bull Divine sect. If Emo Qingyun was killed by Head Elder at this juncture, the consequences would be unimaginable. In the eyes of the Heavenly Bull Divine sect, Emo Qingyun's potential value was much higher than the Grand Elder's. Even if it was for Emo Qingyun, he would not hesitate to offend the power behind Lu Yuanjie. From today onwards, you will be in charge of protecting Emo Qingyun. I will take care of the Great Elder. Understanding the current situation, Iron Rhino made a decision and told Zhou Ping sternly. Yes. Zhou Ping immediately nodded and said, If that's the case, I'll go to the tourist pavilion to prevent Mo Qingyun from causing trouble again. All right. Iron Rhino nodded and watched Zhou Ping leave. After sending Zhou Ping off, Iron Rhino frowned and sighed. The rise of every prodigy will cause some trouble. It seems like this is unavoidable. I hope the sect won't suffer too many losses. Iron Wing sighed. He didn't stay any longer and immediately left his residence. Mo Qingyun had no idea what Iron Rhino and Zhou Ping were up to. After leaving the tourist pavilion, he came to the trade area of the Heavenly Bull Mountain to buy a transportation tool. I don't have any more immortal spirit stones. I need to sell some things in exchange for some more. Mo Qingyun thought to himself as he walked on the streets of Heavenly Bull Mountain. He wanted to exchange for some immortal spirit stones to buy some items. Not long after, Mo Qingyun arrived in front of a pawn shop as he pondered and searched. Mo Qingyun took a quick look at the shop and walked in. He stopped in front of the shopkeeper of the pawn shop. "Young master, how may I be of service to this humble shop?" The shopkeeper looked at Mo Qingyun and saw Mo Qingyun's identity medallion. He immediately revealed a flattering smile. He did business in the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect, so everything had to be done according to the sect's wishes. With Mo Qingyun's identity as an elite disciple, he needed to be careful in order to avoid angering Mo Qingyun. With Mo Qingyun's identity, if he wanted to make things difficult for him, he would have a hard time. "I do have a few things that I need Senior's help with." After hearing the shopkeeper's question, Mo Qingyun didn't beat around the bush and directly expressed his intentions. "I have some cultivation resources for sale. I don't know if Senior is willing to buy them. If Senior is willing to buy them, I want to exchange them for some spirit stones. May I know what young master wants to sell? Why don't you take them out and let me have a look?" After understanding Mo Qingyun's intentions, the shopkeeper revealed a curious expression and led Mo Qingyun to the inner hall. When they arrived at the inner hall of the pawn shop, Mo Qingyun threw the item he was about to sell in front of the shopkeeper. "Oh, these cultivation resources don't seem to be from the Heavenly Bull continent." Seeing the items that Mo Qingyun took out, the shopkeeper immediately exclaimed in surprise, and interest appeared on his face. Shortly after, the shopkeeper identified and organized the items that Mo Qingyun took out one by one. After a short while, the manager revealed a satisfied smile. He cupped his hands at Mo Qingyun and said, "Young master, I've already finished taking stock of these items that you've taken out. Although the grades of these items aren't high, they're rare and hard to find. I'm willing to purchase them for 2 million star stones." 2 million star stones? Hearing the shopkeeper's words, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He didn't know what star stones were. Seeing Mo Qingyun's shocked expression, the shopkeeper thought that the price was too low. This made Mo Qingyun feel dissatisfied, so he hurriedly said, "Young master, this is a small business. I can add another 100,000 star stones at most. If the price is higher, I will suffer loss." From the looks of it, star stones should be the same as immortal spirit stones. They're a higher grade of cultivation spirit stones. Mo Qingyun thought about it and knew what star stones were. He nodded at the shopkeeper and said, "Then we will go with Senior's price. We have a deal for 2 million star stones." Seeing that Mo Qingyun agreed to the price, the shopkeeper took out the star stones and handed them to Mo Qingyun. After taking the star stones from the shopkeeper, Mo Qingyun pondered for a moment and said, "Senior, do you know where I can buy a means of transportation?" "Means of transportation?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's question, the shopkeeper thought for a moment and asked, "Young master, when you say means of transportation, do you mean flying mounts or flying boats?" "Flying boats," Mo Qingyun answered. Hearing Mo Qingyun's answer, the shopkeeper's eyes lit up, and he said in a soft voice, "I won't hide it from young master. In the basement of our shop, we are about to hold a small barter meeting. If young master is interested, you can join and try your luck." "Oh, there is actually a small barter meeting. I'm just in time." Mo Qingyun revealed a pleasantly surprised expression, and a sense of anticipation appeared in his heart. He cupped his hands at the shopkeeper and said, "In that case, I will have to trouble Senior to lead the way and bring me to participate in the small barter meeting." In Mo Qingyun's opinion, It was easy for some good items to appear in this kind of small barter meeting. Chapter 2464. After leaving Iron Rhino's residence, Zhou Ping went to the Golden Bull Pavilion to protect Imo Qingyun in secret. On the way to the tourist pavilion, Zhou Ping met Zhou Teng, who had just returned. He asked, "Have you explained everything? Did anyone cause trouble for Imo Qingyun?" Cause trouble for Imo Qingyun? Hearing Zhou Ping's question, Zhou Teng didn't know whether to laugh or cry. At this moment, he couldn't help but think of the wooden plank at the entrance of the Golden Bull Pavilion. Judging from Imo Qingyun's behavior, if anyone caused trouble for him, he would be more than happy to do so. "Granduncle, don't worry. Imo Qingyun is fine. No one dares to cause trouble for him." Although Zhou Teng felt a little depressed, he still told the truth about the situation. "I see." After listening to Zhou Teng's explanation, Zhou Ping's hanging heart was slightly relieved. He nodded to Zhou Teng and said, "Next, I will personally deal with Imo Qingyun's matter. You can go to your own things." "Yes," Zhou Teng responded and turned to leave. After learning about Imo Qingyun's situation from Zhou Teng, Zhou Ping continued to rush to the Golden Bull Pavilion. Although Imo Qingyun was fine now, he couldn't guarantee that nothing would happen. After all, the first elder was in closed-door cultivation. No one could be sure when he would come out. As Zhou Ping hurried along, he soon arrived outside the tourist pavilion and saw a group of people gathered at the entrance. "What's going on?" Looking at the crowd at the door, Zhou Ping was also puzzled. He walked over with a curious expression. When he pushed the crowd aside and saw the wooden plank at the entrance, his expression immediately became interesting. "You are welcome to challenge me at any time. I only accept two kinds of challenges. The first is a bet. Before you challenge me, prepare the wager. The second is a life-and-death battle. Be prepared to be killed." After reading the words on the plank, Zhou Ping's face immediately darkened. He was furious and said, "This kid is really a shit stirrer. He doesn't want to stop for even a moment." Originally, he thought that Imo Qingyun would feel uneasy about killing Lu Yuanjia after knowing his identity. Who knew that Imo Qingyun didn't care about it all, and even became a little worse. This situation was hard for Zhou Ping to accept. He felt that he was meddling in other people's business. "When I find him, I'll definitely give him a good scolding." Suppressing the anger in his heart, Zhou Ping walked into the tourist pavilion and began to look for Imo Qingyun in the courtyard. "Greetings, elder." When Zhou Ping entered the tourist pavilion, Shi Wei bumped into him and respectfully bowed to him. In response to Shi Wei's greeting, Zhou Ping coldly nodded and said, "Where is Imo Qingyun? Tell him to come see me immediately." After Zhou Ping finished speaking, he turned around and walked toward the stone bench. "Elder, senior brother, Imo went out not long ago and hasn't returned yet." Hearing Zhou Ping's order, Shi Wei nervously reported Imo Qingyun's whereabouts. Imo Qingyun went out. Hearing this, Zhou Ping's face was immediately filled with shock. His eyes widened in disbelief. Not long ago, he met Zhou Teng and learned from Zhou Teng that Imo Qingyun was in the tourist pavilion. Moreover, Zhou Teng had already told Imo Qingyun about Lu Yuanji's identity. He didn't expect that Imo Qingyun would dare to leave the tourist pavilion. This was too bold and reckless. Could it be that Zhou Teng lied? After a short moment of shock, Zhou Ping frowned and a trace of doubt appeared in his heart. However, Zhou Ping quickly shook his head and denied the guess in his heart. He knew Zhou Teng's character very well. Zhou Teng would never lie to him. Therefore, Imo Qingyun was too bold. This stinking brat. Even at this time, he still dares to wander around. After confirming that Imo Qingyun had left the tourist pavilion, Zhou Ping immediately became anxious and said some words of dissatisfaction. Looking at the displeased Zhou Ping, Shi Wei revealed a nervous expression and cautiously said, "Elder, if you have urgent matters, you can return to the mansion first. When senior brother Imo returns, I will ask him to look for you." "No need. I will wait for him here." Zhou Ping directly rejected Shi Wei's suggestion and walked to the pavilion at the side to sit down. Seeing Zhou Ping's action, Shi Wei stopped persuading him and immediately went to prepare tea for him. After a while, when Shi Wei served the tea, Zhou Ping ordered Shi Wei, "Go to my mansion and ask Zhou Tang to come see me. I have something to ask him." "Yes." Hearing Zhou Ping's order, Shi Wei didn't dare to delay. She complied and left. Then, Zhou Ping stayed in the tourist pavilion and waited for Mo Qingyun to return. In the pawn shop, under the guidance of a shopkeeper, Mo Qingyun arrived at a secret room where many people were already seated. These people's auras weren't weak, and they were basically all at the galaxy grade. An elite disciple of the Sky Bull Mountain sect. When everyone saw Mo Qingyun, they were all surprised and looked at Mo Qingyun curiously. Based on their understanding of the Sky Bull Mountain sect, one had to be at least at the galaxy grade to become an elite disciple. Mo Qingyun was only at the nebula grade, yet he had become an elite disciple. It was obvious that he was extraordinary. After discovering Mo Qingyun's extraordinariness, a dark-skinned man asked the shopkeeper curiously, "Elder Alpaca, who is this little brother? Hurry up and introduce him to us." "This is young Master Mo Qingyun, the chosen candidate to stay in the tourist pavilion." Upon hearing the dark-skinned man's question, the shopkeeper respectfully introduced Mo Qingyun to everyone. On the way here, he had exchanged a few words with Mo Qingyun and found out some things about Mo Qingyun. What? He has been chosen to stay in the tourist pavilion? It is said that the person who stays in the tourist pavilion is equivalent to the successor of the Sky Bull Mountain sect master. It seems like this little fellow is not simple. He has a chance of becoming the sect master of the Sky Bull Mountain sect. After knowing Mo Qingyun's identity, everyone whispered to each other and felt more respect for Mo Qingyun. Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun looked humble as he cupped his hands and said, "Junior Mo Qingyun pays his respects to all the seniors. Little friend Mo is too polite. Little friend Mo, please take a seat." Upon seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, everyone immediately greeted him warmly. Now, in their eyes, Mo Qingyun had become the future sect master of the Sky Bull Mountain sect. With such a status, he was already on equal footing with them and was worthy of being on good terms with. Under everyone's greetings, Mo Qingyun found a place to sit down and waited for the bartering session to begin. When Mo Qingyun sat down, a red-eyed young man's face turned cold. He looked displeased as he said, "Elder Alpaca, when will the 1,000-armed Azure arrive? Isn't he putting on airs by making all of us wait for him? Calm down, blood-eyed gentleman. He should be here soon." Upon hearing the red-eyed young man's displeased words, the shopkeeper smiled apologetically and comforted him. Chapter 2465. As soon as these words were spoken, a terrifying, cold aura pressed down on everyone present. Under the pressure of this aura, everyone's expression changed, and shock emerged on their faces. The 1,000-arms Azura has broken through to the late stage of the galaxy grade. No wonder he dares to be so arrogant. When he was at the mid-stage of the galaxy grade, he could already go toe-to-toe with a late-stage galaxy grade powerhouse. Now, I'm afraid that he can go toe-to-toe with a peak galaxy grade powerhouse. From now on, no one in the Heavenly Bull continent will be able to suppress him except for the 3 great sections. Everyone looked at each other in dismay as they watched the 1,000-arms Azura slowly approach them. Their hearts were filled with anger and fear. The 1,000-arms Azura looked even more pleased with himself when he saw everyone's reaction. He glanced at the Blood-Eye Lang Jun and said, "Red-eyed kid, you seem to be very dissatisfied with me. I'll give you a chance to reason with the sword in my hand." After the 1,000-arms Azura finished speaking, he took out a purple sword and looked at the Blood-Eye Lang Jun provocatively. When he saw the 1,000-arms Azura's actions, the Blood-Eye Lang Jun's expression froze. A trace of fear flashed across his eyes. He knew very well that the 1,000-arms Azura wanted to make an example out of him and use his blood to intimidate others. Therefore, he absolutely couldn't fall for this trick. He had to swallow this insult. "Oomph." After understanding the Thousand Arms Azura's intentions, the blood-eye Lang Jun snorted coldly and turned his head away. He had no choice. He wasn't as strong as the Thousand Arms Azura to begin with. Now, he was even weaker. If he made a move, it would be no different from courting death. He couldn't fight impulsively. The Thousand Arms Azura felt a little disappointed when the blood-eye Lang Jun didn't speak. He then looked at the others. When he saw Mo Qingyun, he grinned and revealed a cold expression. The Thousand Arms Azura's figure moved and arrived beside Mo Qingyun. He said coldly, "Kid, scram to the side. This is my seat." After the Thousand Arms Azura said that, he sent a palm strike at Mo Qingyun, intending to push Mo Qingyun to the side. Seeing the Thousand Arms Azura's action, the blood-eye Lang Jun and the others trembled. They were all shocked. They didn't think that the Thousand Arms Azura would be so bold as to attack Mo Qingyun. One had to know that this was the Sky Bull Mountain sect's territory. Touching Mo Qingyun was equivalent to provoking the Sky Bull Mountain sect. At the same time, they began to sympathize with Mo Qingyun. It was his bad luck to encounter the Thousand Arms Azura. Seeing that the Thousand Hands Azura was about to attack him, Mo Qingyun's eyes turned cold, and he released a killing intent. He could sense that if a Nebula Realm cultivator was struck by the Thousand Arms Azura's palm, even if they didn't die, their foundation would be damaged. In other words, the Thousand Arms Azura had attacked him with the intention of crippling him. This was a little too much, and Mo Qingyun could not tolerate this kind of thing. Understanding this, Mo Qingyun immediately counterattacked, meeting the Thousand Arms Azura's palm. He's actually resisting. Seeing Mo Qingyun's action, the Thousand Arms Azura was stunned. He was surprised by Mo Qingyun's action. He had thought that with Mo Qingyun's Nebula Realm cultivation, he would be scared half to death by his attack. Unexpectedly, not only was Mo Qingyun calm, but he also dared to counterattack. This was not simple. However, after a short moment of surprise, the Thousand Arms Azura's smile became even colder, and his attack became even more ruthless. Seeing this, the blood-eye Lang Jun and the others couldn't bear to see this, and a sense of pity rose in their hearts. In their opinion, facing the Thousand Arms Azura's ruthless attack, Mo Qingyun would be crippled even if he didn't die. A genius with unlimited potential was strangled in the cradle, just like that. Bang! Under everyone's gaze, Mo Qingyun and the Thousand Arms Azura's fists collided, and a deafening sound was heard. Immediately after, a shocking wave of Saint energy spread out in all directions. Under the impact of the Saint energy wave, everyone retreated and defended against the aftershock of the battle. After everyone had defended against the aftershock of the battle, they were all stunned. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. He had taken it. The Thousand Arms Azura's all-out attack had actually been blocked by Mo Qingyun. Seeing this, the way everyone looked at Mo Qingyun immediately changed greatly. He was indeed a genius of the Sky Bull Mountain sect. As someone who had been appointed to stay in the Taurus Pavilion, he was indeed powerful and outstanding. "Kid, you have some skills. You've impressed me." Seeing that his attack had been blocked by Mo Qingyun, the Thousand Arms Azura's face was filled with shock. Mo Qingyun didn't show any emotion in response to the Thousand Arms Azura's words. He said coldly, "If you want to step on others to establish your prestige, you should first weigh your own abilities. Get out of my way now, or don't blame me for being rude." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he shook his fist and forced the Thousand Arms Azura back. After being forced back by Mo Qingyun, the Thousand Arms Azura's expression changed again. He became somewhat wary of Mo Qingyun. He could tell that Mo Qingyun was a ruthless person. He had bitten off a tough bone this time. More importantly, this was the Sky Bull Mountain sect. If they really fought, he wouldn't be able to gain any advantage. "Little brother, you're very skilled. I've learned a lot today." The Thousand Arms Azura cupped his hands and didn't provoke Mo Qingyun anymore. He walked to the side. Seeing the Thousand Arms Azura walked to the side. The shopkeeper immediately went over and brought over a chair. "Thousand Arms Azura, please sit here." "Oomph." The Thousand Arms Azura sat down on the chair brought over by the shopkeeper and huffed unhappily. "Don't waste time. Let's start the trade." Hearing the Thousand Arms Azura's words, everyone exchanged glances and took out their own items. Following that, powerful Dharma treasures appeared before everyone's eyes one after another. "This is a galaxy-grade weapon. I want to exchange it for a slot to enter the Skybowl Mountain's sex inheritance." The Thousand Arms Azura took out a long sword and smiled meaningfully as he spoke to Mo Qingyun unhurriedly. When they heard the Thousand Arms Azura's words, everyone immediately understood what the Thousand Arms Azura meant. From the looks of it, the only person he wanted to trade with was Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun didn't respond to the Thousand Arms Azura's words. Instead, he looked at the Blood-Eye Langjun. The Blood-Eye Langjun was holding a blood-colored flying boat, which was a quasi-galaxy-grade flying tool. When he saw Mo Qingyun looking at him, the Blood-Eye Langjun smiled amicably and said, "Little brother Mo, you seem to be very interested in my flying boat." "That's right." Mo Qingyun didn't hide the Blood-Eye Langjun's question. Instead, he nodded solemnly. If he exchanged this flying boat, he would have achieved the initial goal of his trip to the Skybowl Mountain sect. Chapter 2466. Hearing Mo Qingyun's conversation, the Thousand Arms Azura's gaze turned cold as he looked at Blood-Eye Langjun. Sensing the Thousand Arms Azura's gaze, Blood-Eye Langjun's expression changed, and he immediately became uneasy. From his point of view, the Thousand Arms Azura was clearly warning him not to make a deal with Mo Qingyun. "Red-Eyed Boy, I'm also very interested in your Blood Cloud airship. Name your price." After giving Blood-Eye Langjun a warning look, the Thousand Arms Azura revealed a cold smile, indicating that he also wanted to buy the Blood Cloud airship. Hearing the Thousand Arms Azura's words, Blood-Eye Langjun's expression froze, and he immediately revealed a difficult expression. Obviously, no matter who he sold it to now, he would offend the other party. Blood-Eye Langjun pondered for a moment and came up with an idea. He said, "I only want to exchange my Blood Cloud airship for one Evil Marten blood crystal. If any of you can take out one Evil Marten blood crystal, I'll exchange it with a Blood Cloud airship." The Thousand Arms Azura's face turned cold when he heard Blood-Eye Langjun's words. He turned to an old man beside him and said, "Black-faced snake, give me your vile mantis blood crystal. I'll owe you one." "Thousand Arms Azura, my Evil Marten blood crystal is used to refine the blood god's soul-burning pill. I can't give it to you." Black-faced snake's expression was firm as he immediately rejected the Thousand Arms Azura's request. Seeing Black-faced snake's rejection, the Thousand Arms Azura's face darkened and he shouted angrily, "Since you're courting death, don't blame me for being rude." As the Thousand Arms Azura spoke, he stretched out his hand and grabbed Black-faced snake's neck. Because the Thousand Arms Azura's attack was too sudden and the two were too close, Black-faced snake had no time to react. Then the Thousand Arms Azura grabbed Black-faced snake's throat and lifted him up. He said, "Listen carefully. I'm not asking you to hand over the Evil Marten blood crystal to make a deal with you. I'm ordering you. Thousand Arms Azura, please spare me. I know I'm wrong. I'll give you the Evil Marten blood crystal immediately." Black-faced snake's face changed greatly when he saw that he was in Thousand Arms Azura's hands. He was terrified and begging. The Thousand Arms Azura's personality was ruthless, and his methods were ruthless. If he was angered, he would really kill. Under normal circumstances, the black-faced snake would not be afraid of him. Even if it could not defeat him, it could still escape. However, the situation now was different. His life was in the hands of the Thousand Arms Azura, and he couldn't beg for mercy. "At least you know your place." Seeing the black-faced snake beg for mercy, the Thousand Arms Azura revealed a satisfied smile. He raised his hand and caught the vile mantis blood crystal. The Thousand Arms Azura's face turned cold when he saw that the vile mantis blood crystal had succeeded. He tightened his grip on the black-faced snake's neck. Bang! Under the Thousand Arms Azura's strength, a terrifying saint power burst out from his hands. Under the impact of the saint force, the black-faced snake's body exploded, and it was killed with unwillingness and fear. Seeing this, the Blood-Eye Lang Jun and the others trembled. Their eyes were filled with shock. The Thousand Arms Azura was too ruthless. This move was too ruthless. Immediately, everyone became even more wary of the Thousand Arms Azura. Oomph. I stole your vile mantis blood crystal. You'll definitely hold a grudge against me. How can I let you live? After the Thousand Arms Azura killed the black-faced snake, he revealed a look of disdain and said sarcastically, under everyone's respectful gazes, the Thousand Arms Azura threw the vile mantis blood crystal in front of the Blood-Eye Lang Jun and said, Red-eyed boy, I brought the vile mantis blood crystal for you. Give me the blood cloud airship. Looking at the vile mantis blood crystal in front of him, the Blood-Eye Lang Jun's face still looked troubled. He stole a glance at Mo Qingyun. Mr. Mo, I'm sorry. I hope you won't blame me. The Blood-Eye Lang Jun looked apologetic. He apologized to Mo Qingyun and made a deal with the Thousand Arms Azura. Mo Qingyun didn't care about the Blood-Eye Lang Jun's actions. He looked at the Thousand Arms Azura with a faint smile and said, You've got guts. How dare you provoke me like this? Do you think I won't dare to kill you? As Mo Qingyun spoke, his face turned cold and a murderous aura emanated from his body. The Thousand Arms Azura's actions had already crossed his bottom line. Under Mo Qingyun's murderous aura, everyone shuddered and felt a chill run down their spines. Little brother, please don't be angry. I don't mean any harm. I just want to be friends with you. The Thousand Arms Azura didn't care about Mo Qingyun's anger. He said calmly, Your goal is to exchange for the Blood Cloud airship. What does it matter who you trade with? Mo Qingyun nodded. He didn't refute the Thousand Arms Azura's words. Tell me, what do you want? Since he didn't like the Thousand Arms Azura, Mo Qingyun didn't want to waste time with him. He directly asked for the terms of the deal. The Thousand Arms Azura didn't get angry at Mo Qingyun's attitude. He still smiled faintly and said, Little brother, you're really straightforward. Then I won't beat around the bush. My terms are very simple. You just have to bring me along when you enter the Heavenly Bull's inheritance. Do you think you can take me down just because you've taken the Blood Cloud airship? Mo Qingyun's eyes turned cold when he heard the Thousand Arms Azura's request. His murderous aura intensified as he said, Plus, the candidates for the Heavenly Bull's inheritance haven't been announced yet. How can you be so sure that I'll be chosen? Even if I'm chosen, how can I bring you along? This question is too simple. I can give you the answer now. The Thousand Arms Azura laughed heartily in response to Mo Qingyun's misgivings. Then, he started to explain to Mo Qingyun. Based on my understanding of the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect, as long as one's strength is comparable to a mid-stage galaxy grade, basically anyone can enter the Heavenly Bull's inheritance. Little brother, your strength definitely won't be a problem. Little brother, you have obtained the qualifications to enter the Heavenly Bull's inheritance. When you enter the inheritance, you can bring a follower along. Then, I can enter with you. You've really planned this out. Looks like you've been plotting this for a long time. After hearing the Thousand Arms Azura's words, Mo Qingyun's doubts were resolved, and he mocked the Thousand Arms Azura. The Thousand Arms Azura didn't deny that his intentions had been exposed. He handed the Blood Cloud airship over to Mo Qingyun and said, In order to express my sincerity, I can hand the Blood Cloud airship over to you. Aren't you afraid that I won't fulfill my promise after taking the Blood Cloud airship? Mo Qingyun asked the Thousand Arms Azura with a faint smile as he took the Blood Cloud airship from the Thousand Arms Azura. Although there had been some twists and turns in the process, the outcome had been pretty satisfactory. He had finally obtained the Blood Cloud airship. This way, his goal of finding a means of transportation had been accomplished. He did not know how to refute Mo Qingyan. After being speechless for a while, Zhou Ping impatiently waved his hand at Mo Qingyun and said, "All right, you can leave first. Don't leave Taurus Pavilion during this period of time. Otherwise, don't blame this old man for being rude." Yes. When he heard Zhou Ping's instructions, Mo Qingyun responded and directly turned to leave. When he saw this scene, Zhou Tong could not help but be dumbfounded. He felt that it was a little unreal. That's it. Originally, he thought that Zhou Ping would find Mo Qingyun and fiercely reprimand him. He did not expect that after a few words from Mo Qingyun, Zhou Ping would actually directly ask Mo Qingyun to leave. After a brief moment of shock, Zhou Tong revealed a bitter smile and self-deprecatingly said, "It seems that the sect has always treated true geniuses with a tolerant attitude." He was very clear that if it was someone else, the outcome would definitely not be like this. The reason why Zhou Ping treated Mo Qingyun like this was because Mo Qingyun was a true genius. When he saw that Mo Qingyun had left, Zhou Ping waved his hand at Zhou Tong and said, "There's nothing for you to do here. The two of you can leave too." Yes. Zhou Tong and Zhou Tong responded and left Zhou Ping's courtyard together. When Mo Qingyun returned to Taurus Pavilion, everything returned to normal. It was so quiet that it was somewhat depressing. Therefore, Mo Qingyun was well aware of the arrogant actions of the people from the Wind Cloud sect and the Azure Cloud Sword sect in the Heavenly Bull Mountain sect. Zhou Tong continued, "Especially that Feng Wuxue. After he defeated me today, he even said that he was just an insignificant disciple in the Fengyan Sky sect. How despicable. That Feng Wuxue, after he defeated me today, he even said that he was just an insignificant disciple in the Fengyun Sky sect. Senior brother Zhou Tong, there's no need to be angry. They're just a bunch of clowns." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly when he saw the angry Zhou Tong. He comforted Zhou Tong and said, "These people like to cause trouble. Let them do what they want. If their sect's #1 genius comes, I'm interested in meeting him." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Zhou Tong became even more depressed. He said unhappily, "It's all Granduncle's fault for locking you up. If you can leave the Taurus Pavilion and go teach Feng Wuxue and the others a lesson, they will definitely restrain themselves." Huh. Mo Qingyun smiled at Zhou Tong's words and didn't say anything. In his opinion, as long as they didn't provoke him, he wouldn't care about them. What he needed to do now was to wait for the Heavenly Bull's inheritance to open and seek fortune inside. "I'm in a much better mood now. I won't bother you anymore." Zhou Tong was in a good mood after talking with Mo Qingyun. He stood up and prepared to leave. Zhou Tong stood up with a solemn expression and said, "Don't worry, I'll ask my granduncle to stop locking you up.